renovations. We'll get into that as well coming up on today's program. There's the battle going on between Lamar Jackson and Troy Aikman. That's a battle I did not see coming. ESPN has released their top 100 pro athletes of the 21st century, which is an interesting list to look at. We got an update on the Caitlin Clark, Sabrina Ionescu story that I talked about yesterday, the fact that they are not participating in the three-point shootout. Also, the University of Memphis basketball team now knows their conference matchups for this year, who they will play at home only, who they will play away only, and who they will play both home and away. So we got plenty of stuff to get to on today's program. John Varlas will join us as he always does on Fridays, coming up later on in this hour. And then in the 9 o'clock hour today, to kick off the 9 o'clock hour, about 9:05, Rob Fisher, our buddy, Grizzlies sideline reporter from Grind City Media. He'll join us. He's been down in Dallas at SEC Media Days this week, so we'll talk to him a little bit about SEC football, but also about Grizzlies Summer League basketball as well. But before we go any further, let me welcome in my partner who's out in Las Vegas, getting up early today out in Vegas, or maybe, as I've done out there before, still up from last night. How are you doing, Mr. Gaston?
It's rough. I tried to get to bed at a reasonable time, but even reasonable time after you go out and have some fun and eat some dinner, it's midnight. And here I am I got up about 4:20 a.m. local time, so it's now 5:04 here in Vegas. So I feel for those who have come on our show, Eli, from the West Coast or from the Mountain Time Zone to be with us early on Sports 56 mornings, because it's brutal getting up early anywhere, but especially out in Vegas.
Are you flying back today?
I am.
Okay.
I am. We're flying. We're leaving here about 12:30.
Well, good luck. 'Cause I don't know if you know that or not, but there has been a major IT thing that has screwed up airlines this morning. So
no, get out of here.
Check your flights. I think they're for the most part, most of them have gotten it figured out, but there were a ton of flights canceled this morning and a lot of delays and stuff like that because of this major. It's a worldwide IT outage of some sort that has been a nightmare for all kinds of things, including the airlines. So
I don't need to hear that. I do not need to hear that, but I will check.
Just good, yeah. Hope for what airline you flying?
We're flying Spirit.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Well, good luck with that anyway.
Oh,
but I don't know that they are one of the ones. I'm pulling up the list here of airlines affected by. Yep, Spirit Airlines is there.
Is affected?
Booking system has been impacted, said the airline, which operates flights. The budget carrier asked passengers to check for updates and apologize for any inconvenience this may cause in a travel advisory posted on its website. So there you go. So
I will need to wake up my son for him to check because he's taking care of all this.
Yeah, good. I think most of these are they're getting it figured out. I don't know, but yes, this morning there has been a lot of flights canceled around the world because it's causing problems with all kinds of stuff. Like it's a huge IT issue across the entire globe. So yeah, good luck to you as far as I. But you've been out there playing in a Penny Hardaway golf tournament. Is that correct?
Yes.
So tell us about that.
It is. Yes. So it's Penny and Friends golf event that has different beneficiaries. So they're raising money for different causes, and it's something that they've done now for several years as Penny assembles his friends and cohorts and former NBA players and other friends from all over the country, not just from Memphis. There's guys here from Dallas and Denver and Atlanta and San Antonio and all over the place. And they apparently have done it now for a number of years, and Penny does it, and it coincides with his birthday. So yesterday, Penny celebrated his birthday. It's hard to believe that he just turned 53 because Penny looks like he's 30. He just doesn't age. And so we went out there and played Rio Seco on Wednesday, and then we played Cascada yesterday. And they're playing another tournament. another golf course today, but we're taking off today. So yeah, it's a real fun event. We had a great time. We went to dinner with Penny, celebrated his birthday on Wednesday night, and then did some other things out here. So it's been a great trip. And then of course we went to Summer League and watched the Grizzlies a little bit. So it's been a 2-for-1 trip, and this is all because of my son. But I'm glad to have tagged along with him and have had a great time.
So is there a lot of Memphis Tiger people out there playing in the tournament?
Not a lot of there's Memphians. For example, there is. Do you know Stanley Blue?
I know the name.
He started years ago. Yeah. I'm not sure. He's an agent. He started, and I'm not sure if it was the original first year, but the old Bluff City Classic. He was involved in, I think, the revitalization of it. Now, of course, they play another summer league with a different name at Crosstown, but he did the one that used to be at Southwest Tennessee. And again, I'm not sure if he started. I don't think he did, but he resurrected it when it went away. And he's involved with a lot of things. He's an entrepreneur. He's out here. The pro at Pine Hill, Will, and I'm going to forget his last name, he's out here. There's some other connections with Penny. And then there's former players that are involved. So it was kind of strange to jump on this bus, the shuttle back and forth to the golf course. And there's Nick Van Exel, and there's James Posey, and there's Michael Finley. So there's a bunch of guys who played in the NBA or played college, and they're all involved. And these guys go out and have fun, but they also play. Some of them play for high stakes, as you would guess, and very competitive, but really fun. Great guys. I can't tell you how much they open their arms for us. And Greg, as you know, is a good player, and me, just an average player. But we had a couple other guys from Conway Services, which were the big-time sponsor of the event, and we played in our foursome and followed Penny's group. Just really good time. I couldn't complain if I had to complain. If I was forced to complain, I couldn't complain how great this has been, this quick trip out to Vegas.
Well, that's cool. This is the first time you've been to Summer League, right?
Yes.
Were you there last night, or did you just go?
We were there. So we were there on Wednesday, and that's when Edie didn't play for the third straight game in Vegas, which would mean 6 straight at that point after not playing games 2, 3, and 4 in Salt Lake City. And Spencer was hurt because he got hurt in game 2, so we didn't see any of those guys.
There's only 2 he missed in Salt Lake.
I'm sorry. Yeah, but either way, it was no Edie, it was no Cam Spencer, it was no Laravia, and they went out and behind Gigi and Scotty, as you know, they have played great. They went out and won, and then of course they won again yesterday. The only reason we didn't go yesterday was because we were very late in getting back from the golf event yesterday, the second round, which was at Cascada, so we couldn't get over there, which was a shame because Edie came back and played and then got hurt again. So we didn't get a chance to see Edie. But it's very interesting because you got, and I think you know this, there's 2 arenas there. Mm-hmm. There's the Cox Pavilion, and then there's the Thomas and Mack. Thomas and Mack is where the men play, the Running Rebels men play, where Tarkanian and all those great teams played in that arena. And then there's the Cox Pavilion where the women play. But they have games going on pretty much simultaneously, and you can go back and forth between the arenas. And it was a really good crowd. We didn't go over to the Cox Pavilion. We stayed at the Grizzlies game, but really good crowd. And then we watched the Lakers for a half or a quarter, whatever we were there for the second game before we rolled out of there, and watched the whole Bronny James thing. And that's a whole other story. It's crazy. The Lakers fans out there rooting for Bronny, but then also even in the concourse, the things they have of Bronny James up there, like he was the main attraction of Summer League. So it was fun. It was a really good crowd. The Thomas and Mack, which I've done an NIT game there before, so I've been to the Thomas and Mack, and they have so many restaurants and so many different things for people, and it's an older arena. And I'm walking around with the guys, and I'm telling them, why can't we have this many options at FedEx Forum? And there's a million different options at Thomas and Mack. So it was pretty cool, but it's so different in Vegas. So it's a lot harder, Eli, to get around. Whereas before, you're on the Strip, you go to the Thomas and Mack, it takes you 5 minutes. Now it takes you 30 minutes. So, but that's the situation here in Vegas with the Summer League.
So, as you mentioned, the Grizzlies do get the win last night. 88-77 the final. They beat New Orleans. They clinch a spot in the Final Four, the playoffs of the Summer League. They will play tomorrow in a semifinal game with an opponent yet to be determined. You mentioned Zach Edey comes back. Doesn't last very long. He scores 6 points, grabs 3 rebounds, and then steps on a foot, rolls his ankle. He goes out of the game. Jake LaRavia also made his return. However, he didn't last very long. 7 minutes and 40 seconds for him, and he goes back out of the game because of the knee soreness or whatever. I think it's knee soreness with him. But it does not matter because Gigi and Scotty playing the back-to-back, which I was surprised that Gigi actually played the back-to-back. Not as surprised about Scottie Pippen, but I thought Gigi would sit yesterday because of the back-to-back. But they were terrific again. Gigi, 17 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Didn't shoot it great, 4 of 14 from the floor. Scottie Pippen, 17 points, 11 assists, 6 rebounds, 3 steals. And he did, by the way, Zach say afterwards, when they interviewed him, said, "What are you trying to prove on the defensive end?" He said, "I'm trying to prove I'm the best defender in the Summer League." So he's trying to get that Defensive Player of the Year award for the Summer League, which good on Scottie Pippen Jr. for trying to get that award. But those two guys have been terrific. Like Gigi, again, you would expect it, and he had the terrible first game in Utah, but he's been not always real efficient on the offensive end, but he shows you the things that you expect to see out of him. And then Pippen has been efficient offensively, and he really has been just absolutely terrific on the defensive end.
He's been a great leader out there. And look, I realize it's Summer League. We taper everything we say, or at least we should. But Scottie Pippen looks like a legitimate backup point guard in the NBA. Now, I know he's a two-way guy with the Grizzlies, and there's a limited amount of games he could play. And I know Derrick Rose is still on the team, but with the injury history of Rose, you got to figure Pippen's going to play, a part. I'm not going to say an integral part, but he's going to play a pretty good part of the Grizzlies' regular season. And it's not just going to be him and getting a little bit of time. I think he'll be up there, and they'll use what is it, 50 games, Eli, that he can play?
50 games you could be
maximum
active for.
You could be active for 50. Whether he plays that amount of games is still to be determined. But I think he's proven himself that he could be a backup guard. He's not Tyus Jones, but he's not that far off. And he is, the game at least I watched and the other games I've seen on TV, he seems like he's one of, if not the best player on the court at times. And then Gigi Jackson is just high volume, high motor, fan favorite, signing autographs left and right. The people really love him. We were surrounded by a lot of different NBA fans from different cities that were there, and they were talking a lot about Gigi because I could overhear them talking about him. But he comes in, and he's in there to score the ball. But also yesterday he dished, I think he had 5 assists. The other day he had a bunch of rebounds. He's big, as you know. I think he has a bright future. So they've basically rode those two guys. Spencer had some decent games, and then he got hurt. LaRavia played really, really well, too, earlier in the year. He has nothing more to prove, but it is Summer League. You got to do it now in a regular season game with LaRavia. But Edey's played a limited amount of time. Wells has not been consistent, but he's a rookie playing in his first games. So it's, as you said, Pippen and it's Gigi Jackson. They've rode those guys to this 4-0 play going into a actual playoff, if you will, in the Summer League. So a lot of credit to Gigi and a lot of credit to Scottie Pippen.
And one of the things, and we talked with when we were talking with DeMichael Cole on Wednesday, we talked about the fact that one good thing for Pippen on the defensive end, like he's just been ultra aggressive. It helps when you don't have to worry about picking up fouls because you get 10 fouls. Like you literally could just foul all night, and you're like, I don't care. Like I'm just going to be ultra aggressive and make him call fouls on me because who the hell cares? I think he's averaging about 6 fouls per game as well. Like he just is out there, and that's fine. Who cares? Like you might as well do it because hell, they're giving you 10 fouls per game.
It's within the rules of the Summer League. The guys we were sitting with, the Conway guys. The one guy turns to me and he says, "Wait, what's going on? Are they giving them 7 fouls?" I said, no, they're giving them 10 fouls. And you're right. Memphis as a whole has been one of the most aggressive defensive teams out there. They have turned over opponents left and right, but Scotty's right in the middle of it. You're right. Look, if that's within the rules of the Summer League, you get 10 fouls. You have to use them all, use them all. But he is ultra aggressive. But I like to see that. I like what they're doing in the defense they're playing. We know how poor they played last year defensively. Now, mind you, they had a bunch of guys that were out with injuries, but they did not play as well as they're capable. And we know that they are capable of playing some good defense. So you go out there and you get Edie to be the shot blocker. And we saw a little bit of that last night before he went out with the rolled ankle. But Pippen is a very aggressive player.
I am going to be interested to see how what happens with Pippen during the regular season, how they because again, I talk about this. To me, the backup point guard minutes are going to be Marcus Smart and Desmond Bane. So I don't know that there are any backup point guard minutes really available unless people are out. But I certainly think if there are backup point guard minutes available, that I would rather have Scottie Pippen Jr. getting them than Derrick Rose.
I'm in agreement. But I bet you it's the same situation. We talked about this last year, going into last season. What would Rose's role be? And I think we came to the conclusion he probably won't get a lot of minutes, probably a lot of DNPs. And then right from the get-go, Taylor was using Rose as the backup point guard, using his veteran savviness and leadership. And then, of course, like everybody else, he's hurt and doesn't play in a lot of games. He's not dependable from a health standpoint, but I would bet at the beginning of the year that he goes back to Derrick Rose as a backup point guard. But you're right. He has Des Bane who can bring up the ball. He has Marcus Smart who can play on the ball. And then you have Scottie Pippen when he's up with the team. And I think when he is, he will get minutes. But it all depends on Rose and his health, because I still believe that they will defer to Rose as a backup, giving him the ultra respect.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'll be interested to see how they handle that situation. Again, I would think that Smart and Bane get most of those minutes, but there might be some available for Rose on the few games that he's actually healthy this season. Before we take the break, John Varlos will be joining us here coming up in our next segment. One sad note, Bob Newhart, who lived a long, long life, 94 years old. But certainly sad to see that Bob Newhart passed away. One of the great comedians, great comedic actors. The Bob Newhart Show was before my time, but he would pop up on various shows. I remember him in Big Bang Theory and other things, and certainly one of the legends of comedic acting.
He had a different type of humor. I don't know if they call it a dry sense of humor. I think that's what they probably would categorize as humor. He was incredibly intelligent and just a really good actor, too, in the Bob Newhart Show. And then I think there was a spin-off of that show with his with Suzanne Flechette, who he acted with for so many years. But Newhart lived a great life. Last night we went to a comedy show. We went to the Comedy Cellar, and we saw some of these rising comedians, and they're really good. And a lot of these young comedians today, even older comedians today, in fact, the older ones probably more so, know the history of comedy. And I'm sure some of them really respect, if not all of them respect Bob for his humor. And I was surprised last night they didn't say anything really at the beginning about Newhart's passing, because he's one of the legends of comedy. So, yeah, again, lived a long life. He was 94 years of age, but certainly one of the greats.
This hour of our program is brought to you by the Big Green Egg. I talk about the weather that's going to be, we got today, over the weekend. It is going to be some great weather to be outside, on the patio, on the deck, firing up that grill. And if you're firing up a grill, you should be firing up a Big Green Egg. It is the best grill there is. I'm looking forward to firing mine up this weekend and cooking some stuff. I haven't decided exactly what I'm going to do on there, but I guarantee you I'll be firing up that Big Green Egg this weekend, taking advantage of this great weather. You could go to biggreenegg.com, get all the details about the Big Green Egg and all the egg accessories, or in person, you can go right here at the Ace Hardware stores in town. You can go to Hamilton Fireplace and see the Big Green Egg in person. It is the Big Green Egg. John Varlos up next here on Sports 56 Mornings. Just getting rolling on this Friday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Guns, and more guns. Over 700 firearms in stock. Home defense guns, old guns, new guns, used guns, big guns, little guns. Every gun you can think of, Classic Arms has them. All brands like Glock, Sig, Colt, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Browning, Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Winchester, and more. Guaranteed lowest prices in town. Only gun importer in the Mid-South. Free gun inspections and appraisals and free bore sighting for the upcoming deer season. Shop online at ClassicArmsOfMemphis.com or visit Classic Arms at 1740 Germantown Parkway behind Quicky's Barbecue in Cordova.
Welcome to the Rendezvous.
This is John Vergas. When my dad started the Rendezvous in 1948, I don't think anyone could have imagined we'd still be serving shoulder, cheese plates, and our world-famous dry rub ribs 75 years later. But we are still here in the basement, in an alley in downtown Memphis. We sincerely thank you for making the Rendezvous what it is today. Charlie Vergas Rendezvous, a legendary experience for over 75 years, whether you dine in, pick up, or ship across the country.
Savings. Now that's speaking the Lowe's language. And when you join My Lowe's Rewards for free, the savings just keep coming. Save money with member-only offers, plus earn points when you shop. More points equal more rewards, just for you. Because Lowe's knows you earned it, literally. Learn more about our loyalty program at Lowes.com/MyLowe'sRewards and become a member for free today. Program subject to terms and conditions. Points are awarded on eligible purchases. See Lowes.com/terms for full details. Subject to change.
Visit Frontier Western Store today for new shirts and boots. Frontier is your top Carhartt store in the Mid-South. There's thousands of in-stock shirts and jeans. They have the classic K87 pocket tee in every color they make, including new ones just released. Available small to 4X. Want new jeans? Frontier has you covered with super tough work denim by Carhartt. And you've got to check out their selection of Harriet jeans for men, women, and children. You'll love how easy it is to find the size and style you need. Have you seen Frontier's remodeled world-famous boot showroom? It continues to expand. New styles by Ariat just arrived, plus plenty of in-stock proven classics too. Whether you need work or dress boots, trust that Frontier's the place to come. See thousands of pairs of Ariat boots and thousands more by Dan Post, Corral, Durango, Rocky, Twisted X, and others. And Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so you know just the local shop to visit. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Traffic starting to build just a bit more here the last few minutes over here on 40 coming westbound as you approach Sycamore View Road, coming down out of Millington right now. Not bad. Southbound on 51 as that traffic increases with a little bit more volume up through South Haven on 55 coming northbound. Weiber's Jewelry located 7525 Highway 64 is your full service family owned jewelry store right here in Memphis. Go by and see them this weekend. I'm Commander Chuck with your on time traffic.
Welcome back. 726 here in the Family Leisure Studios. Eli Savoy and Zach Boyd here in the Family Leisure Studios. Greg Gaston out in Las Vegas joining us today. Round 2 of the British Open underway. Shane Lowry and Daniel Brown tied for the lead at 5 under par as they are both out on the golf course right now. Daniel Brown, the first-round leader that came out of absolutely nowhere to be the first-round leader in the British Open. Right now, it's time to talk with our buddy, John Varlas.
It's time for Greg and Eli's weekly visit with John Varlas on Daily Memphians. Want John's prep sports coverage and much more at DailyMemphian.com. John is brought to you by Shoot 360 Memphis. When the pros and preps go to get their shot on Shoot 360 Memphis. Now here's John Varlas with Greg and Eli.
He is indeed the award-winning reporter from the Daily Memphian. You can follow him on X at John Varlas. And he is brought to you by Shoot 360.
Shoot 360 Memphis. Good morning, Eli. Good morning, Zach. Is Greg there? Can you hear me, Greg? Good morning, Greg.
I am, John.
How's
Good
things
morning,
in
John.
Vegas?
It's happening. I hope I can get home today.
Well, it's another place that's happening is Shoot 360 Memphis. How about that for a
There you
smooth
go.
transition? That's where you can
Very
go
nice.
to hone your basketball shooting skills, parents. Give them a call, 901-316-5500. They've got the original location in Collierville there at 85 Market Street and a brand new location in Cordova. You can get a membership at each. You can do monthly memberships. You can do longer than monthly if you want to. Just call them. They'll work with you and they'll get you right. They've got high-tech analysis equipment. They'll tell you exactly what's wrong with your shot, what's right with your shot, and tell you how to get better. They've also got old-fashioned coaching and weight training. They've got passing base. They've got dribbling practice areas. But their bread and butter is the shooting. They use technology developed by NASA and other really smart people to track your depth and your trajectory and all those things. You can download the information in real time, right and see it exactly and get readouts and printouts and figure out what you're doing wrong and what you're doing right. And they'll interpret it for you and work with you and make you a better shooter. So give them a call, 901-316-5500, Shoot 360 Memphis. They will get you right.
All right. The weekly tradition, and I know you have something on your mind today. You have a bone to pick.
I've got an Olympic year, and I've got an Olympic-sized bone to pick, Eli. And I've saved this one just for you guys. And you can actually go to the Daily Memphian and read about this. So maybe you know Eli, and maybe the listeners out there remember the name Maya McCoy. So she was a decorated sprinter at Whitehaven High School, 5-time state champion, went on to a really, really good career at the University of Tennessee, and now she's a professional. Well, Maya got connected with the Liberian Olympic Federation, basically, and at some point in the last year or so, they approached her and said, hey, we need athletes. Would you be interested in competing for Liberia in the 2024 games? And she said, well, yeah. I mean, she's a really talented sprinter, but not quite up to the level, to make the U.S. team. So she said, sure. She goes to Africa. She represents Liberia in the African Games and the African Championships. Eli, she wins the silver medal in both of those competitions. It comes time a few days ago to formally select the Liberian Olympic team, and they decide not to choose her. After winning, after representing the country with great success, great distinction, silver medal in the African Championship, silver medal in the African Games, she finished in second place to the same woman both times. And then when it comes time to pick, they said thanks but no thanks. So she goes. She went through all that for essentially nothing. Got her hopes up. Very, very frustrating. I talked to her last week at the Ed Murphy Classic. She basically intimated there's a ton of politics in the track world, and I think she got caught up with that somehow. But yeah, big bone to pick with the Liberian Federation. You got a really talented young lady there that could have represented your country with great distinction at the Paris Olympics, but you've chosen not to pick her. And since she's a Memphian and a really, really great person, and someone I really admire and like, I say boo. I say boo on you, Liberia.
How did she even have, how was she able to be a Liberian for the Olympics?
does she have
in
dual
these situations,
citizenship?
these citizenship things are kind of flexible. And the way Liberia kind of looks at it is, since they were essentially founded by slaves from America, from the U.S., they essentially look at Americans as what's the word? Somewhat citizens. There's somewhat a connection. Adjunct citizens, basically. They look at it based on their founding by American slaves. That if you're an American now, you can there's kind of a connection. So
they're using a lot of loopholes. Is what they're doing.
So lots of loopholes. They don't have clearly they don't have the depth of sprinters that America has. And Maya told me, you know, she was in a competition at the University of Arkansas last summer, 2023. She performed really well, and one of the Liberian athletes, this male sprinter, you know, contacted her and say, hey, would you be interested in representing our country? And you know, she molded over, and you know, she's getting a little older now. She's 27. You know, and like I said, she's very, very talented, but doesn't quite have the times to make the Olympic team. But you know, still really good times. I mean, she's the 33rd ranked 100-meter woman in the world. So you know, it's not like she's a slouch. But you know, so yeah, the opportunity was there. You know, she went for it. She traveled to Ghana for the and Cameroon for those competitions I mentioned. She got the silver medal in both, and then when they officially, you know, made the team selection, it's like, nah, thanks, but no thanks. so
perhaps
so
they
got
thought
a big
she
bone
was
to pick with that.
That's a good bone to pick. Perhaps they thought she was a librarian and not a Liberian, and they decided they can't go that route. But isn't it the same committee that allowed her to become a part of the team for the African Games or whatever it was she represented and got the 2 silvers? Isn't it the same committee that picks the team for the Olympics? So wouldn't it be the same people that brought her in and then denied her the second time?
Well, yes, but it's also, Greg, they made a final call. So I mean, it wasn't officially official. I mean, they had to have like one final meeting or whatever to, you know, formally pick the team. And I don't know, you know, I don't know why she didn't make it. You know, I'm kidding around. You know, she suspects it was because she left Cameroon early before that. I think it was the African Championship. She left Cameroon early because the conditions there were so bad. So she just basically did her thing, competed in a race, and then came back home. So she suspects that might have had something to do with it. Maybe, you know, somebody got in their feelings about that or something. So,
but I think they would just do it based on times.
Well, you
like
would.
If your time is good enough, if you're one of our best, you're going.
Yeah, and her time's right around 11 seconds. So she met the Olympic standards to compete. Like I said, she's the 33rd ranked, women's 100-meter sprinter in the entire world, which, you know, pretty darn good if you ask me. But it's a mess, and it just, you know, there's so much politics when it comes to Olympic committees and team selections and things like that. You guys remember in the last Olympics there was that one country where they picked that poor girl to compete in I think one of the sprints, and I mean, you saw the video. You know, she was maybe a little overweight, a little, you know, maybe not as athletic as the other sprinters, but she was, you know, related to somebody. You know, she was related to somebody that knew somebody, and there she was, and she got on the
she got on the team. An Olympian.
Yeah, so it's a mess, and I'm frustrated for Maya. Like I said, you know, she's a really cool person, and you know, somebody that's accomplished a ton in her career. You know, from Memphis, Tennessee, and Whitehaven High School. So, you know, it irks me, Greg. I have to say.
You mentioned
I understand
the Ed Murphy Classic. Every year now that they do this and they have the pole vaulting on Beale Street, like every time I see the video of somebody pole vaulting on Beale Street, it's really cool, but it always I'm like, what the hell are we doing pole vaulting on Beale Street for? But it is awesome. I think it's really cool.
Well, and I think some of the patrons that come out of the establishments on Beale Street might ask themselves the same thing. Like, well, what is this all about? I think it was 2 years ago. I think the first time they did that, I went and covered it, and it was weird. You know, there were really people, you know, kind of coming out of the bars and really unaware that this was going on, and they were, you know, kind of taken aback, and it was pretty funny. But no, it's a, you know, I mean, what pole vaulters do is pretty incredible when you think about it. You know, running at full speed down a runway. You know, you plant your pole and I guess essentially this little hole, and you know, bend it to the point of breaking and just vault yourself up, you know, 19, you know, almost 20 feet in the air for the very best. It's incredible.
Yeah, I don't even understand pole vaulting. Like, I don't understand how you do it. There's no way in hell I could ever do it.
Well, I mean,
I can't believe it could bend like that and not break. I mean, it looks like it's completely bent. I don't know how they do that either.
Yeah, there's that. I interviewed a real talented high school pole vaulter last year. Got a really good story out of it, and you know, and she spoke. I mean, there's really a fear factor involved too that you have to overcome. I mean, you're upside down. You're basically, kind of flying blind there a little bit. And even on the high school level, you're talking, 12, 13 feet in the air, which is, no small thing if something goes wrong. So you really have to conquer a lot of fear, a lot of nerves. I mean, it takes guts to be a pole vaulter. It really does. It's not as easy as it looks, and it doesn't look easy, honestly. So
we're a week away from the opening ceremonies of the Olympics. Are you an Olympic person?
Wow.
I get into the Olympics. I mean, you know me, Eli. I can get into anything for as long as I'm there. I can invest myself for a couple of hours or a couple of weeks or whatever. So yeah, I'm into the Olympics. I definitely love the track. I like track. I really, to me, track is just like the purest competition, and it never changes. I mean, 100 meters is 100 meters. You line up and you see who's the fastest. 1,500 meters is 1,500 meters. You line up and see who's the fastest. That doesn't change. It's not dependent on technology or courses or corked bats or shot clocks or anything like that. You just line up and go and see who's the fastest. So yeah, I like the track. No, not so much the swimming. I'm really not interested in the basketball. But yeah, I'll definitely get into the track part of it.
It used to be dependent on some performance enhancing drugs.
Yeah, well,
like the baseball.
There's always.
That's the drug Olympics. They have another one.
I think at this point we're just going to assume that's a given in pretty much most professional sports, right? I don't think that's a controversial opinion anymore.
Are you gymnastics guy?
No, I'm not really gymnastics. I mean, I'll watch, but I'm not gonna hang on every vault or everything like that. No.
Favorite Olympian of all time?
Olga Korbut.
Wow.
Wait. You just picked a gymnast, even though you said you don't hang on every moment of gymnastics?
The last name I was expecting to hear was Olga Korbut right there.
Olga Korbut. Montreal, John? Montreal Olympics?
No.
Olga?
Olga Korbut was 72, right? She
Munich.
Yeah, so the reason I like Olga Korbut, and you can find this video on YouTube. She did a move that was so dangerous, Greg, it was banned. So yeah, I'm serious. You can, look it up on YouTube. Olga Korbut banned. I think they call it the death loop. So it's a thing where she's essentially she's doing the uneven bars, and she's essentially balanced on the top bar, and she just backflips and lands on the bar. It's hard to describe, but just watch it and see. And it's so dangerous that the World Gymnastics Federation banned the move. So yeah, Olga Korbut.
Jeez.
I'm definitely down with that.
Mine would probably be Carl Lewis and Michael Phelps, and if I go outside the United States, Usain Bolt.
In all seriousness, Greg, who I really liked too was Edwin Moses. I remember Edwin Moses from 1976. I remember sitting in the bedroom watching the Olympics at home on a little teeny tiny black and white television and watching Edwin Moses win the 400 hurdles with another American, Mike Shine, right behind him, and Jim. I think it was Keith Jackson on the commentary. Here comes Edwin Moses. Here comes Michael Shine. It's the American. It's really, really cool, and that's something that's stuck with me almost 50 years later, watching Edwin Moses win gold.
I remember Edwin Moses. I don't remember what. I guess it was because he did. I don't know how many Olympics, but at the end, he looked like an old. He was like balding, like everything else, and I'm like, but he was still awesome. And I was like, dude, this dude looks like he's 52 years old and he's out there beating everybody.
He looked like an older James Harden.
Well, he was in the Olympics in 76. Then they did the boycott in 1980, but then he came back in 84 in Los Angeles and won the gold there. And what the most incredible Edwin Moses fact is he won something like 125 consecutive races, across all competitions. He was just unbeaten in the 400 meter hurdles for years and years and years, and just an incredible athlete. So yeah, no, I really liked Edwin Moses. He had the sunglasses. He had kind of a cool look about him, kind of an aura. And yeah, 8-year-old me was just enamored watching Edwin Moses over the hurdles. But Olga Korbut too, man. Lots of great Olympic memories. I definitely like the
Simone
Olympics.
Biles hasn't even done anything that has been banned yet. I don't think. I think all of her moves are actually allow them to happen.
Yeah, and her moves are, pretty dangerous too. I mean, the stuff that young lady comes up with. I mean, she's an incredible athlete. So yeah,
the competition guys, they would like her banned. That's how good she is. They would like her just out of the Olympics.
Yeah, they would. Yeah, I mean, it's she's it's crazy. how many things she does that like nobody else can do.
Right.
Well, and just watching, just watching the power she generates, with the speed and she's just a little teeny tiny thing, but she just generates so much power and force, and it's really incredible. The physics of it all, the science of it all. How does a person do that? I mean, how do you even get to that level to where you can do that? It's mind blowing what these Olympians can do. But yeah, no, Simone Biles. I mean, it's going to be a great Olympics. Katie Ledecky.
She blows my mind,
I know
too.
you're a Katie Ledecky fan. I'm like I said, not interested in the swimming, but man, hats off to what these athletes do. They're incredible.
We talk about the pole vault. The vault in the in gymnastics is the one that blows. Like you're running, you get running full speed. You start flipping before you even hit the little springboard. Then you hit a springboard. You have no idea where the thing actually is, but you have to find it and spring yourself up in the air, do 3 more flips and turns, and then you're supposed to land without even moving.
Yeah.
And they do it.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's amazing what they all do. I mean, just think about something like diving, for example, or the synchronized diving. I mean, you're diving with another person and you're not crashing into them, and you're diving off a 3-meter platform, and you're flipping, and you're doing it together, and it just the hours and hours and hours of training and dedication and time that these people must put in, and circling it back to Maya. I mean, that's why that's why it's frustrating when you're on the brink of being a part of that. Even though it's not necessarily for your country, you're still on the brink of being a part of that and being a part of the show, and then at the last minute they say sorry.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I can't imagine how many hours of training and everything else she put in, figuring this was going to get her there, and then you end up being told, no, sorry, we don't care about you anymore. Folks, buying a diamond is not an easy thing. Most guys, we don't have any idea what we're looking for when we're buying diamonds or any jewelry. But folks over at Genesis Diamonds, well, they've got people there that educate you, tell you what you should be looking for, what you're looking at, what's affecting the prices, what's the why this is $2,000 and that's $10,000, or this is $200 and that's $800. They'll help you figure that out and things that you should be looking for and finding those great values out there, because they're not working on a commission, so they're not there to try and make you buy the most expensive thing in the store. They're there to educate you, help you, and make you a smarter shopper when it comes to buying jewelry. And of course, when it comes to selection, they've got everybody beat. They've got all the top designers, unbelievable selection of diamonds, whether it be lab-grown diamonds, whether it be natural diamonds, great pricing as well, direct importer pricing. You'll find it all at Genesis Diamonds. Poplar and Perkins Extended is where you'll find them. Don't buy a diamond anywhere until you learn the ins and outs from Genesis Diamonds. Back with more of John Varlas right after this. Sport 56 Mornings on Sport 56 and 98.5 FM.
Together, let's drive to the beach, to the lake, to the mountains, to anywhere in what you really want to drive in. I'm out here at Olive Branch at All-Star Chevy. Hundreds of new and pre-owned Silverados are out here right now, some marked 12% off invoice. Add up all the All-Star special discounts and look for Costco member deals. It's one sweet buyer's market with financing as low as 1.9. No payments for 90 days on a bunch of new All-Star Chevys. And nothing beats road trips in a new Tahoe. And get an extra $500 bonus if you're in healthcare, an educator, a college grad, military, or first responder. And no matter what pre-owned you're looking for, it's here at Olive Branch. Jeeps, 4Runners, Expeditions, Navigators, all the trucks here in Olive Branch where you could drive them all. Bring any vehicle you want to sell and get a big check today. So let's go. Don't miss All-Star Chevy's special summer sale going on right now in Olive Branch, or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Buster's Butcher at 199 South Highland Street in Memphis. We're a full-service butcher shop offering a curated selection of quality meats, cheeses, prepared foods, and more. At Buster's, our skilled butchers are also experienced chefs. They'll be delighted to guide you on selecting, preparing, and cooking our fine selection of products. We're like nothing else you can find in Memphis. Learn more at bustersbutcher.com and come see why every cut counts at Buster's Butcher.
Listen up, I got Marty McNate on the line at Gossett Volkswagen, Germantown. Hey, McNate, how far back you moving on prices?
Way back, Randy. Doc told me you can take your pick. 2024 Teos SE or 2024 Jetta Sport. Gotta go back in time to the good old days at $275 a month.
Great Scott, McNate. Gossett Volkswagen on Germantown is really moving prices back.
That's right, Randy.
And I hear you got the 2024 Atlas Peak Editions going for $5,000 off MSRP, or you can get 1.9 for 60 months.
That's right, Randy. Your future's whatever you make of it, so let's get to Gossett Volkswagen Germantown.
Ask for Marty to find out how much he can move you back on price. Hey, Marty, hit us with that Gossett Volkswagen locator.
7420 Winchester Road, or shop online at GossettVWG.com.
Looking for a high-efficiency planting solution? The Case IH 2150 Early Riser Planter combines the industry's most accurate planter technologies with a rugged row unit for fast and uniform emergence. The Case IH 2150 Early Riser operates at your speed and adapts to unique field conditions so that you can maximize your yield potential. Stop in or call Mid-South Ag Equipment at 662-890-3141 to learn more. That's Mid-South Ag, your Case IH equipment headquarters.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
Welcome back, 749 here in the Family Leisure Studios. Eli, Zach, John Varlas joining us here in the Family Leisure Studios. Greg out in Las Vegas. So round 2 of the British Open underway. Shane Lowry has the 1-shot lead now over Daniel Brown. He's at Lowry even today, 5 under par. Brown 2 over today. He's at 4 under par. And then you go back to guys at 2 under par. Justin Thomas has bogeyed a hole today. He is at 1 over for his round today. Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods is now 13 over par after an 8 over yesterday, 5 over on his round today through 15. There are only 2 guys in the tournament worse than him. How much longer does Tiger continue to do this?
Yeah.
Again, and what drives it, and I don't, he get, as he said, and he told Colin Montgomery, like, he gets to make the decision. He can play as long as he wants. I don't understand why he keeps acting like before these tournaments, he keeps talking like he believes he could win, because he can't. He has no chance whatsoever at winning. He has basically no chance of making a cut. I mean, Tiger Woods is one of the great competitors of our time. He can't want to continue to go out there and embarrass himself.
I mean, yeah. Do you think, Eli, do you think he looks at it like he's embarrassing himself, though?
I would think missing not even, again, being one of the worst in the entire tournament, like, pretty consistently, I would feel like for him that's pretty embarrassing.
Well, it is.
You're Tiger Woods, for goodness sake.
Yeah, and to pull back the curtain here, and Greg, you'll appreciate this. So I walked into the studio today, and Eli's got the tournament on the TV, and I turned to look at it, and I said, "Oh, there's Tiger Woods," and it was actually Dean Burmester from South Africa. So I was. So that shows you how far Tiger Woods has fallen. I can't even identify him from a random pro on the tour. How about that? My day is off to a great start.
I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me why you would continue to do this.
Yeah,
because it's going to physically hurt too for him to be out there.
It must physically hurt. You're right about that, Eli. I don't know. I'm not. I've obviously never competed in sports at anywhere near approaching that level, so I don't know what the mindset is. But I guess it's on. There's some level. There's something in the back of your head that's like, maybe still saying, I can still do this. I can still get this done, even though there's all the evidence to the contrary. Maybe it's just something in his makeup and something that's made Tiger Woods great. That there's still that little bit of something that says, if I just do this, if I just do that a little different, a little better, I can contend, I can be in this thing. Maybe there's an element of that to it. But yeah, you're right. Watching him, watching him out here at 13 over is not, not fun for really anybody, really.
No, couple of things. One, if he really believes truly that he still can compete, which we know he can't because we're seeing it with our very eyes, but if he wants to really try to compete, then he needs to go out there and play. He can't just show up a week before a major, go out there and play the course a couple of times and be competitive. I don't even know if he could be competitive if he plays a couple of tournaments leading into that major, but he certainly can't just walk up to the course and go out there and play like he's Tiger Woods of the past. That's not happening.
Well, he can't physically do that. Like he can't
Right.
play a bunch of tournaments. That's the point. Like to me, like the only one that theoretically, if he was going to actually compete in one, it's the Masters. Like that's the only one that he would ever have a chance at competing in. These others, I just don't think there's any chance, and I don't really think there's a chance at the Masters, even as good as he is on that golf course, as much as he knows that golf course, I don't think there's any chance there. So I just it's just bizarre to me that he continues to do this. And when he said after the U.S. Open that he didn't know if it was his last U.S. Open, I think that we are seeing the last of time. I don't think he's going to continue to do this.
Yeah, it's going to be hard, Eli. Although he just made a nice little putt here. I think it was to save par, but yeah, it's you remember young Tiger Woods with the red shirts and just being that unbeatable mindset on the final day of a tournament where if he was a stroker, if you were a stroke or two ahead and he was lurking, somehow you were going to blow it and he was going to win, or he was going to win, if he was in front, he was definitely going to win. I mean, that's the Tiger Woods we remember. And, to see him out here, floundering around a little bit is hard, I would imagine, for his many, many fans and all the people that grew up with him and love him. But, at the end of the day, it's tough to tell somebody who's accomplished so much that, their time is gone. It's tough to tell them that. And I don't know that anybody can tell Tiger Woods that. I mean, ultimately, he's going to have to be the one to make that decision. I don't think anybody can tell him that.
And that's I understand. Like that, Colin Montgomery had a point.
Yeah, it was.
But I don't know why Colin Montgomery felt the need to try and say that.
He didn't need to say it
because he's just setting himself up because he's never won anything. All that. So he was just setting himself up for Tiger to use the punchline basically against him.
Yeah, I mean it was a decent message, but the wrong messenger for sure, right?
Yeah,
coming from Mrs. Doubtfire.
Here's a quick. Yes, exactly. We haven't talked about Colin Montgomery in 20 years. I don't know why he felt the reason to say what he did. But quick story. I'm on the bus yesterday as we're going out to Cascada to play. And as I said, Eli, to start the show, I'm on the bus. Nick Van Exel's on the bus, Michael Finley, James Posey, all these professional athletes. And somebody's got a couple of people have their phones out, and they got the Open Championship on. And Tiger starts his round. And he rolls in a long putt for birdie, I think, on his first hole that he played. And the bus goes crazy. So the love affair with Tiger Woods, especially from fellow athletes, is still very much evident that they want him to play well. But they got to feel, I guess, on the inside that it's sad to see our great athletes at the end of their careers floundering. It happened with Willie Mays. It happened with Joe Namath, Steve Carlton, all these great golfers and baseball players and football players that just don't know when to say it's over.
Yeah, again, I would love to be able to watch Tiger Woods play great golf again. Like, it would be awesome to see him compete. I'd love it. Yeah, I mean, he makes that birdie yesterday at number 3. He followed it up with a bogey, then a double bogey. Then he actually got a par, then a bogey, then a bogey, got a par,
Jeez.
Double bogey, bogey, finally got another birdie, and then ended his round with 2 bogeys. And he just, again, it's just, and he said afterwards, I didn't do much right out there. No, he didn't do. I mean, the only 2 guys worse than him, one, I don't know how to pronounce his name, and I've never heard of him, and the other is Todd Hamilton. The former champion.
Win a date with Todd Hamilton, right?
Like it's the former champion who like literally doesn't. I don't even know if he plays any other golf every year other than goes and plays at the British because he can play in it.
Yeah, and you talk
John Daly had a better round than he did?
John Daly withdrew. So he's not worse than him right now. John Daly and Ernie Els both withdrew. So they both shot 82 yesterday. So they shot worse scores yesterday. But of guys still playing the tournament right now, there's only 2 that have a worse score than Tiger Woods.
Eli, you're the golf guy, and we talk about this Brown who has come out of nowhere to be tied for second place here with Shane Lowry. Is there a more random, totally off the grid, no chance in winner of a major tournament than Todd Hamilton? Has that?
Well, Ben Curtis, when he won the British, was actually, I think, lower ranked, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Like the British just produced some of those guys. Like you're just like, what in the hell's going on here? Like that's what, like Daniel Brown. There was no reason to believe anything about. He had missed. I was reading about. He had missed 6 of the 8 cuts of. He had played 8 tournaments this year on the DP World Tour. He had missed 6 cuts and he withdrew from 1, and then he finished like 61st in the other. And then suddenly here he comes out at the British Open, his first major ever, his first round of all time, and he goes and shoots a 65 and has the first round lead. Like I said, I don't know what his odds were to be first round leader. They were probably like plus 30,000. But like even his family would not have bet that. Like they would be like, well, no, there's no chance in hell you're gonna have the first round lead. Like you're probably gonna be terrible.
Yeah,
like everybody else.
His family knows he's missed 6 out of the last 8 cuts and withdrew in the 7th.
It's amazing to me. Like some of that, but Ben Curtis, Todd Hamilton, who are some of the
Michael Campbell.
But that was U.S. Open.
It wasn't the Open, but it was. Yeah. I don't think it was the Open.
There's been
Michael Campbell won it when Colin Montgomery choked and Phil choked.
Yeah, there's been some really obscure ones. Who was that golfer, Eli? I think he was maybe French, and he had a lead, and then he like triple.
Van de Velde.
John Van de Velde.
John Van de Velde. Yeah.
Yeah.
So many Open Championship memories. I like the Open Championship. I like watching the weather, and I like watching guys struggle. I mean, I think it's good once in a while to see these guys. I don't want to say humbled, but I think it's good to see once in a while to see these guys look like average Joes out there. Maybe they're hacking it out of the gorse or whatever. There, I think that's fun.
I agree.
I like the fact that you can wake up in the morning and it's on. That's my favorite part of the British Open. It's just early. You get up early in the morning and it's on, and then it's done, and you still got like your afternoon to go do stuff. Like you're like, hey, golf's done. I can go do stuff in my afternoon.
I like that.
John, thank you very much, sir. We'll see you again next Friday.
Okay, and
thank you, John.
Yeah, 1 month from today, we'll be talking football, guys. So I'm excited about that.
It's coming in a hurry.
Get ready.
There's no doubt about that.
We appreciate it, John.
Thank
from
you.
the Daily Memphian.
Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration for all your roofing and home repair needs. One of our great sponsors, been with us for years. It's simple. Just call Brandon McCullough. He's the owner of the company at 901-438-5084. Go online to newroofmemphis.com. They offer financing, different plans and options to choose from, including a 6, 12, or 18-month same-as-cash option. They'll work with your insurance company or out of pocket. When you need that roof fixed or you need a brand new roof, you call Pinnacle. Residential and commercial roofing. So business owners and property managers, along with homeowners. Again, any problem, call Brandon. They'll come out and do a free roof inspection. They're licensed, bonded, and insured, and a member of the Better Business Bureau. You get a 5-year labor warranty on the purchase of a new roof. All their work is satisfaction guaranteed, and that includes work around the home, like carpentry work, exterior painting. They can replace gutters, put up fencing and siding, rotten wood repair. Whatever you can't do yourself, call the experts at Pinnacle. Quality work at a very reasonable price. Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration. Call Brandon at 901-438-5084 or go online to newroofmemphis.com. Hour 2, Sports 56 Mornings is on the way right here on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Are you ready to ride? Well, we got it covered at Gossett Kia on the bike. Get 41 MPG high highway and 2024 Kia Forte LXS. $199 a month, $37.99 to assign it. 2024 Kia Sportage, $279 a month, $34.99 to assign it. Or how about a 2024 Kia EV9 Lite with 0% APR available for 48 months? Or get 304 EPA estimated range for $389 a month, $49.99 to assigning. All 24-month lease. Plus Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Call Bobby J. He's ready to put you in your new Kia today. Gossett Kia 1900 Covington Pike online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
650 acquisition fee, $20,000 per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte RE 794,066, MSRP 21,820. Sportage R73 161.97, MSRP 28,865. EV9 R60 29,603, MSRP 61,035. Includes all rebates and incentives and PF 695. Includes tax, title, license, registration, and fees. Must finance through Hyundai with approved credit valid through 7/31/24. Dealer stock only.
For more than half a century, contractors and trade professionals have relied on WeatherGuard for heavy-duty truck and van storage equipment. Not just to protect their valuable tools, but to protect their professional reputations. For pros, the WeatherGuard badge makes a statement about what drives them. It says, bring it on. Been there. Done that. We've got your back, without saying a word. And the folks at WeatherGuard, they're just as driven as the hardworking pros they serve. See what it means to be driven at weatherguard.com.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
They're taking care of beerness in Memphis, right on the river with Grind City Brewing and all of their great products. Look, this was a dream come true for a father and son duo. And if you have not been to that brewery right on the river, just to the north of downtown, you're really missing something special. And now you can't miss their products. Wherever you go, you see a brand new label. It's clean, it's beautiful, it's distinctive. You'll know Grind City Brewing, and of course you know their products like Poppy's Pills, that great Pilsner, or Tiger Tail, that very creative craft malt liquor. There's the new Thaddeus Amber Lager. That is absolutely a great light beer. There's the India Pale called Godhopper. It's outstanding. And then there's the Belga, the Belgian-style wheat ale. They keep bringing hits at Grind City Brewing.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and WT538 Memphis, Sports 56 Traffic.
Good morning. There's been a couple of minor wrecks out here in the last hour. Traffic still moving right now. 385 Billmore's Parkway coming in from Collierville. We've had to deal with some power outages out here in certain parts of town. Traffic still moving right now. I-40 over here at Danny Thomas as that traffic flow continues to pick up on 40 East there across the Hernando de Soto Bridge. Weimer's Jewelry right here in the Memphis area specializes in bridal ring purchases, and they have since 1984. That's Weimer's Jewelry at 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Diamonds are forever. Woo!
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, 8:05 here in the Family Leisure Studios. Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd here in Memphis in the Family Leisure Studios. Craig Gaston out in Las Vegas. Going to be just pretty much a perfect day. Pretty much a perfect day today. When you're talking mid-July, sunny skies, and highs only in the mid-80s. Not much humidity either. And much the same over the weekend as well, although over the weekend there is a little bit more of a chance of some thunderstorms possibly popping up. But it is going to be absolutely perfect today. And you got to take advantage of these when you can. I was out at yesterday, Greg, with the folks out at the FedEx St. Jude Championship at a little media event yesterday afternoon. And I was telling Joe Tomac, I was like, boy, would you love to dial this weather up 1 month from now and have this be that weekend of the tournament.
I know I knew what the forecast was before I left for Vegas, so I knew this was coming. And of course, I go to Vegas, and it's nice as heck at home. But yes, if they have this for the FedEx St. Jude Championship, I mean, it is going to put a lot of smiles on people's faces, no question about it. Second hour of our program is brought to you each and every. Oh, I'm sorry, Eli, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to bring up our great sponsor of hour number 2, and that's James Gaddis Jewelers, your family's jeweler at 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick, on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. Each and every Monday and Friday, they bring you the Memphis Sports Fact. Did you know the American Athletic Conference, the AAC, or the American as it's known, announced its home and away designations for the 24-25 men's basketball season? And remember, there's 13 teams this year competing, not 14, with the departure of SMU. The Memphis Tigers will play 18 league games as usual, including 6 home-and-home series with UAB, Florida Atlantic, South Florida, Temple, Wichita State, and Rice. Memphis will host North Texas, East Carolina, and Tulsa for one game inside FedEx Forum, and then travel to Charlotte, Tulane, and UTSA for a single showdown. So that means Charlotte, Tulane, and UTSA will not be coming to FedEx Forum. Again, hour number 2 brought to you by the great folks at James Gaddis Jewelers. If you're looking for that special engagement ring or any jewelry of any type, you need a simple cleaning or a resetting of your stone, refitting of your ring, head to James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick, on the web at gaddisjewelers.com.
It's funny is when they announced those things, and I was thinking from a competition standpoint, does it really matter who you like in this conference anymore? Is there teams you're rooting for, against? You don't have to play here. Like, is there any any team like, oh man, we don't want to have to go play in their arena? I'm like, no, not really. And like the only really, from a fan perspective, I guess UAB is the one team you probably want to see come into the building, which they will.
First of all, I think you're absolutely right. I don't think there's any team on that schedule, any school on that schedule in basketball where you go, oh, wow, Charlotte's not coming to FedEx Forum. UAB is one that should always be home and home. That is an old rivalry that's been revitalized. But for basketball, there's just no team, because now with the departure of Houston, that you care and say, okay, so what? I'm missing UTSA. Now, football is different. Football, they play the 3 toughest teams in the league, at least the prospective toughest teams, along with Memphis. They play at Tulane, at UTSA, at South Florida. So you don't get any of them coming to Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. That's a little bit different with football. But with basketball, I think you're right, Eli. I don't think it makes one heck of a difference at all of which of the teams that the 3 teams that don't come to FedEx Forum.
I mean, last year, yes, you wanted Florida Atlantic because they were good.
Right.
But like now, there's, USF won the conference last year, but I don't think it's like, oh, cool, we get USF coming into Memphis this year.
Absolutely. And you're right about Florida Atlantic. If it was last year's Florida Atlantic Owls and you didn't have them at home, that would be disappointing, but it's not. They're going to be a shell of their old self. And remember, it wasn't like they were a dynasty. It was a pretty decent run for a couple of years. And, the one year was tremendous. Of course, knocking off Memphis in the first round of the NCAA tournament. But no, this is rough. And we talked about it. We went to dinner the other night. And I'm not going to say the things that we talked about in private, but I went to dinner with Penn. There was like 8 of us, and we talked about all of this stuff. So that's why Penny is working so hard to try to get home and homes with every big name he can get out there, because they have to make that, especially that home schedule, attractive to the fans to buy tickets, and also make that schedule tough enough where they benefit from it if there's a hiccup in the American Conference play when it comes to the NCAA tournament and seeding. And I know last year ended up being a disaster. I understand that. But normally you would think that they'd win the conference, and to get a higher seed, they're going to have to win some of those non-conference games. That's why they have to have these home and homes with Ole Miss and Mississippi State and whoever. And they're not even the top of the food chain when it comes to college basketball. But with the home schedule, they're working diligently to try to make it as attractive as they can. I also heard from people that said, well, look at the football home schedule. I said, yeah, I know, but what can you do? There's only so much you can do. You have to go to the games and root for the team itself and not worry about the opponent.
From what you gather, is Penny done adding to the roster?
Yeah, I think he is. I think he's done. You never say never because you never know if a player falls into his lap. But I think he's done. I'm pretty much pretty positive he's done with that.
So if you look at this roster right now, again, they should win the conference, so they're an NCAA. They would be an NCAA tournament team. But how do you view this roster right now as to what they are in the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, look, there's too many unknowns, and maybe this is the roster. When I look at the roster and just see where the guys came from, what they did at their respective schools, I go, okay, it looks like it could be a team that could be competitive, but it doesn't knock your socks off. It's certainly, you're not going to look at that schedule, or excuse me, you're going to look at that roster and go, yeah, this team is a second weekend NCAA tournament team. I can't do that. I don't think it's fair for anybody to look at that and go, that's happening. It doesn't mean it won't happen. It all depends on the chemistry of these players, but I think they're lacking a little bit in the front court. They're asking an awful lot of Dane Danger to become that guy. Cisse, we know, is a defensive stalwart, but he's inept offensively. And then a guy like Tyreek Smith and Nick Jourdain, that's really what you have as far as the bigs. I think perimeter-wise, they're going to have a much better defensive team, and they have a couple of guys who can knock down shots from the outside. It's not like they have a plethora of three-pointer shooters, but I think it could be a competitive team. I just can't sit here, Eli, and look at a team that has one returning player and a walk-on guy in Noah Stansbury and say that this is definitely second weekend. But we know that no matter what that roster looks like, it looks much better than everybody else in the league. So, yes, they have to win the conference. And if they don't, that's a huge disappointment.
And don't forget, tomorrow night is U of M night at the Redbirds game, and you can do a little meet and greet with a lot of these new basketball players: Tyrese Hunter, P.J. Haggerty, Dane Danger, Colby Rogers, Tyreek Smith, all expected to be out there. Seth Hennigan from the football team also going to be there at the Redbirds game tomorrow night, 6:35 game against the Iowa Cubs. On the football side of things, did get the official announcement from the University of Memphis yesterday that Phase 2 of the Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium renovation will really get rolling on Monday, as we'll have some demolition. Please just let that wrecking ball swing freely one time towards the Mid-South Coliseum. That's all I'm asking. But they will have the demolition of the west side starting on Monday. Everything above row 25 will be knocked out, and it's good to see. Like, again, it's going to be weird to see, but it's good to see that the progress is happening in that renovation.
It is not quite the Mirage being imploded, which is about to happen here in Las Vegas, the great Mirage Hotel and Casino, but it is our version, I guess, of the Las Vegas hotel implosion to see that side, not all of it, but a lot of that side, of course, the press box and all that getting knocked down. I know a lot of people will be there to watch that. Phase 2 seems to be happening a little earlier than we first thought, because what I heard was Phase 1 would go through the end of August, and then they would start as early as maybe September 1st. So it's ahead of schedule. They're doing well as far as raising the money that they need. Phase 1 is still being finished up. It's not complete yet. So this is great. They're moving along, because last year we talked about demolition and renovations to Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium, and would there be any red tape and delays and things of that nature. And we are a city of projects that sometimes get put on hold and sometimes even not completed. We're wondering what's going on with Liberty Park. I had Sam Hardiman on last week to talk about that. That's in a delay mode right now. But to have the wrecking balls out there on Monday and to start really moving on this stadium's renovation is fantastic. Of course, for this year, and I think next year, Eli, if I'm not mistaken, the capacity goes from 56 to 32.
Yes.
For that's 2 seasons, correct?
Yes, it'll be 30. And Jeff Crane will join us next week, next Tuesday. We'll get a lot more of the details of information on. But at 32,000, if this team this year has the type of year that everybody expects them to have, I would hope that at 32,000, that stadium would be full for pretty much every home game.
Without question. Now, will it happen? That's yet to be seen, especially early in the season when they play. Now, Troy is a pretty good team. It's a solid team, but it's not a team that's an attractive draw necessarily for teams. That's what I said a moment ago. You have to go out and support the Tigers because of the teams that they're going to have this year. Football should be really, really good. And if it's not, it's going to be a huge disappointment. Basketball, because again, the conference they play in, and who knows whether or not this team gels into a really competitive team, they still should walk away with the conference. So you should be going to these games if you can, and I'm not telling you what to do with your money, but to support the team, the home team, and not necessarily who they are playing. But yeah, 32,000, Eli, is not a lot to ask for. So I would hope that with the anticipation for this to be hopefully a special year for Memphis fans, that they will come out and pack the place at 32,000, because that seems to be kind of the number that we've talked about in years past about whether they have the home stadium on campus, what size would it be? I think we've all said anywhere between 32 and 40,000. So to get 32,000 at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium for any of the games this upcoming year is not a big ask.
And with now knowing that it's going to be, because I didn't know that, like the official number, how low it was going to be. Obviously, it was going to be you're losing seats, so we knew that. But at 32,000, and we'll see what I'll ask Jeff about it next week. And I know he had said before that there was some conversations. Like, they have to figure out a way to move that Arkansas game next year. You don't want to host Arkansas in a stadium that can only hold 32,000 people.
No, it's really defeating the purpose. You're bringing in a big-time opponent because you can pack that place at capacity, or at least close to capacity, I would think. Man, those Arkansas fans, they travel. That's a lot of fans that brings money into the into the economy, but also brings it into Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium, which is now owned and operated by the University of Memphis. So I don't think there's any question, Eli, that they will be working, if they're not already working, on moving that game to another season.
Now, the problem with that becomes, who do you get to replace them? Like, how do you replace the game? Because it needs to be a home game because you've already got 2 road games in your non-conference next year. So it does get difficult, but you've got to try and figure some way out of that situation. Like, you can't just flip-flop the Arkansas road game and home game, I wouldn't think, because you don't want to play 3 road games in your non-conference.
No, you don't want to do that. It'll be tough to find. You're not going to find a replacement of that caliber as far as name. And we know Arkansas is struggling a little bit in the SEC here, but as far as getting a name, they're a big name. You're not going to be able to match that. You're going to take your lumps. But again, if it's only 32,000 capacity, it's not a big – it doesn't hurt you that much. So I would think that you want to benefit from Arkansas in a year when you have full capacity. It's a good way to usher in the revamped renovations of that stadium with a big-time opponent like Arkansas. So I don't know who you can find, Eli, but I don't think they can get the name that Arkansas is. But it makes sense to switch years with Arkansas because you want to benefit the most out of having them.
Tiger Steve texts in on the Sissies Log Cabin listener line and says, any word about better or different parking at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium? I don't think the parking, during construction, is that going to affect Tiger Lane? I don't think it is, correct?
I don't think it is either. We'll find out for sure Tuesday when Jeff Crane joins us, but I don't think so. We've asked him in the past about the parking, and I don't think it's affected at all.
Yeah, I think the parking is going to stay the same for the most part. I don't know that there would be any changes to any parking, but again, when Jeff comes on next week, we will double check with him. They had the Coke plant or whatever that they have that. And I thought they were going to just completely knock that out and completely make it a parking lot, but they haven't done that, have they?
No. I thought that would be a good move to make. I mean, it's right there. It's ample parking. If you're knocking down that building, that would be ample parking. But I haven't heard word one about that situation.
And there is one other big building they could knock down and create parking, but we know they refuse to do that.
Hey, guess what? We even talked about that at the dinner. I'll tell you about some of the things we talked about, but we even talked about that. Let's just say there are some people on your side and my side, because I'm with you 100% as well. It's an eyesore, but when there's too much red tape. But I mean, it was an interesting conversation to say the least. I didn't have a conversation with our great friend Becky Dinstall, but she did text me about what's going on at Dinstall's Fine Candies and Chocolates. And of course, they've been producing delectables for 122 years. It's just unfathomable to think about how long they've been around putting smiles on people's faces. And right now they got a summer sizzler special. They have the pecan rolls, which they have that soft divinity center dipped in fresh caramel, rolled in crisp pecans. It's a true Southern treat. You buy one, you get one free this weekend only at any of the 5 Dinstall's locations. Plus, they now have the chocolate-covered blackberries. They're here for a limited time, so take advantage of that. You still can get the chocolate-covered strawberries, the chocolate-covered grapes, even the chocolate-covered pineapples. They have a lot of stuff in Vegas, as you know, Eli. They don't have Dinstall's. They're missing out. So go visit Dinstall's this weekend. Take advantage of the 2-for-1 Summer Sizzler Special, the great pecan rolls. 5 locations. They're out in Collierville. They're in Germantown. Even a location in downtown Memphis, plus Laurelwood and Pleasant View where they make the candies. Dinstall's Fine Candies and Chocolates, putting smiles on people's faces for 122 years.
8:22 here in the Family Leisure Studio. Sports 56 Mornings continues after this. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Are you ready to ride? Well, we got it covered at Gossett Kia on the bike. Get 41 MPG Highway and 2024 Kia Forte LXS. $199 a month, $37.99 to assign it. 2024 Kia Sportage, $279 a month, $34.99 to assign it. Or how about a 2024 Kia EV9 Lite with 0% APR available for 48 months? Or get 304 EPA estimated range for $389 a month, $49.99 to assigning. All 24-month lease. Plus Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Call Bobby J. He's ready to put you in your new Kia today. Gossett Kia 1900 Covington Pike online. KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
650 acquisition fee, $20,000 per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte RE794-066, MSRP 21,820. Sportage R73-16197, MSRP 28,865. EV9 R60-29,603, MSRP 61,035. Includes all rebates and incentives and PF 695. Includes tax, title, license, registration, and fees. Must finance through Hyundai with approved credit valid through 7/31/24. Dealer stock only.
Summertime's finally here, and that means it's time to party. Lucky for you, Family Leisure is having a summertime to party sale. Now, what's all included in this party sale? Practically everything. 24-foot above ground pools for as little as $19.99. All ladders, filter systems, and even robotic cleaners are 20% off. Come in and look at all of the in-stock patio furniture Family Leisure has. Plus, it's up to 50% off. Play gyms for the kids, that's $1,000 off. Patio umbrellas, take 20% off. You can get a 4-person hot tub for just under $3,000. We know you're really going to just use it for yourself. Family Leisure has discounted pricing on all in-stock pool toys and floats while the supplies last, so you better get in quick. Plus, Family Leisure has special financing available. Just ask an associate for all the details. Summertime means party time, and Family Leisure is ready for any party. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun all come together.
It's the Gossett Mitsubishi Motors Summer Sales Event, and you won't find a better bang for your buck. So get to Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike and get 43 MPG Highway and 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage, $17,980 or $299 a month. 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, $26,530 or $379 a month. 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, we Gossett, $26,530 or $379 a month. And get vacation ready in 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander, $29,900 or $399 a month. Plus peace of mind with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike and 24/7 at MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
500 military rebate, 500 loyalty, and 500 trade-in assist. Mirage RHO 10843, MSRP 18480. Sport RU1 11873, MSRP 28030. Outlander RCO 63695, MSRP 314. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Everyone loves home improvement. South Haven Supply and Warehouse 51 makes it easy. A real hardware store run by 3 generations of a real hardware family where you can get it on. Whether it's repairs, remodeling, or new building, kitchens, bathrooms, tiles, tubs, vanities, sinks, mirrors, lighting, furniture, even door hardware. All the latest designs as well as timeless classics. And if outdoor fun is on your mind, they have the Big Green Egg and Accessory. South Haven Supply at Warehouse 51, 8560 Highway 51. Easy home improvement.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Sports 56 traffic.
It's getting some attention out here. It's decided to pick up over here on 385 Bill Morris Parkway, getting onto 240, coming past Mount Moriah. Still not bad down 51 right now, southbound, coming out of Millington. We've been keeping an eye on I-40 here, coming eastbound over from West Memphis across the Hernando de Soto Bridge, all the way up to Danny Thomas. Hey, Havenly Showers, your curbless shower specialist. Transform your bathroom with a tub to curbless shower conversions. Just log on to havenlyshowers.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Don't you just love it?
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, 827 here in the Family Leisure Studios. Again, going to be a beautiful day today. Sunny skies, highs just in the mid-80s, and not a whole lot of humidity. Coming up in our final hour today, Rob Fisher will join us. Going to talk a little SEC Media Days with him. He was down there this week. Also, of course, Grizzlies Summer League with him. Actually, it was interesting. It seemed like a very kind of quiet SEC Media Days. There really wasn't a whole lot of anything that came out of SEC Media Days.
Yeah, that's right. At least the first 2 days when I was in Memphis and Brett came on, you know, we talked a lot about a number of topics, but really when they went out there and they met the media, I'm talking about the coaches and the players that were representing those particular schools, at least on Monday and Tuesday, I didn't hear anything that was riveting. I mean, the only thing that was somewhat interesting was when Sankey, when he talked about the possibility of expansion, and he kind of put it to rest that it's not something they're looking into. He said, we don't need to cut the piece of pie any smaller. But that was, I expected him to say that. As far as these coaches, they kept it close to the vest. There hasn't been an onslaught of piling on Texas, Oklahoma, that these guys are going to be taking their lumps. You know, everybody was well behaved and quiet, and you know, we missed the Steve Spurriers, we missed the Nick Sabans, we missed some of those personalities, and some of these coaches just don't have those personalities, or they don't want to stir the pot. So we have, you know, we have Lane Kiffin, and he's always interesting. But I think it's been one of the quietest, or was one of the quietest SEC Media Days from afar. Obviously, we've covered it before, you and I. But Wednesday and Thursday, I really wasn't able to keep up with it because I was here doing things. But nothing earth-shattering when I would go to X and I would start reading about it. It just seemed like it was pretty much par for the course. Normal questions, normal answers. Let's move on and get camp started in August.
One couple of college football notes, one from the SEC. It is reported, and this is no surprise, that Alabama will name their field for Nick Saban, and they'll have a ceremony, I believe it's September 7th, to officially name the field. So I guess it'll be Nick Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium. I think he's done enough to deserve that.
What has he done for them? No, come on. You got to wait till the guy's accomplished something. And now he's retired, so he's not going to be able to do – I don't know. I just think – no, I'm kidding. Nick Saban deserves everything at that school, that program. It's unbelievable when you think about it. Bear Bryant was the most respected coach, but in many people's minds – a lot more of the older people, he still is. I mean, Bear Bryant is an absolute legend and will continue to be a legend, and was so good as a football coach and an ambassador for Alabama. How could it be topped? And then Nick Saban comes along and tops it.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's pretty crazy. To probably have, I mean, if most people would say probably the two top coaches of all time.
Right. That's nuts.
And one school gets to claim both of them. It is insane. Also, in the world of coaching at college football, it became official. Blake Anderson officially fired at Utah State. They had informed a couple weeks ago he was placed on leave, and they told him they intended to terminate him. But yesterday it became official that Blake Anderson is fired. Now he is going to be fighting this with Thomas Mars, trying to get his money here. This all stems from a violations in reporting requirements for Utah State employees about a sexual misconduct, domestic violence situation that he apparently did not do the proper things and I guess must have investigated himself. He and two other people were all fired over this. Very weird situation for Blake Anderson and Utah State to have this all going on this time of year.
Yeah, it was coming down the pike. There was a lot of news about it last week, and now, as you said, it became official yesterday. And Blake's a friend of the show. When he was at Arkansas State, he was on with us. Well-respected coach. And then, of course, he had all those tragedies within his family. He lost his wife and then went to Utah State. And I don't know. I don't know this incident. I don't know all the details, just know kind of the fringe notes about it. It's ugly. Now, Thomas Mars, he's been involved with a lot of things from a legal standpoint, so we'll see what comes of it. But, boy, Blake Anderson went from, a well-respected coach, and then all of a sudden just his life kind of crumbled here in not a long period of time, unfortunately.
Yeah, Mars, I believe he has a 70-page response to the university, is what I read. So that's a lot. It's a lot of pages. But the university says he doesn't actually make any points that matter as far as why he was let go of this situation. Speaking of lawsuits, this one I did not see the Lamar Jackson versus Troy Aikman battle coming down. Didn't have that on my bingo card for 2024. But Lamar Jackson is fighting Troy Aikman basically over the number 8. I had no idea.
Yeah,
they both have trademarks on the number 8, which I did not know that at all. And apparently Aikman is trying to use 8 on some apparel and bags, and Jackson has said that it would cause, his thing is likely to cause confusion or cause mistake or to deceive the purchasing public as to whether they're buying products from Jackson or Aikman's company. So he is fighting this, trying to block Troy Aikman from using 8 on his stuff.
I was reading about this story this morning. I had no idea. Aikman has a beer brand. Did you know he had a beer brand named 8?
I didn't know. I had no idea that Aikman had any kind of anything, any kind of line of anything. Honestly, I did not realize that he had any stuff that he was selling.
Yeah, he has a beer brand known as 8 as the apparel that he wants to start now that you mentioned. And of course, Jackson sells Era 8 apparel. That's ERA 8 apparel. So I could see the confusion. Jackson's paperwork was submitted on July 9th. Aikman's appeal is due by August 18th. But here's what I'm stunned about. I didn't know that you can copyright a number.
You can pretty much copyright anything. there's not like you can copyright pretty much anything to try to use it on whatever.
Has anybody tried to copyright the word "the"? I'm going to try to copyright the word "the." Every time the word "the" is used in society, I get some money for it. I mean, come on, that's crazy. But to Lamar Jackson's point, I can understand the people getting a little bit confused. But then again, one's an old white guy who's retired, and one's a younger hip black guy who's currently playing. So I don't know if there's that much confusion. I don't think people are that unintelligent where they can't figure out that they're buying apparel from Lamar Jackson as opposed, or at least backed by his brand, as opposed to Troy Aikman's brand. I don't know if it should be that confusing.
In this story, They say that there are 9,996 live registered or pending trademarks that include the word 8 and 1,801 live registered or pending trademarks that contain the number 8.
Jeez. That's incredible.
They say you can own a smell, you can own a sound, you can own a single color, you can own a single number. You can pretty much trademark whatever you want. But you're going to, like, again,
who owns green?
It doesn't stop anybody else from having it necessarily. There's 9,996 that have the word actually that spelled out 8, and another 1,800 that have the number 8.
Yeah, the copyright and copyright infringement stuff confuses me. I would need an attorney to explain it to me, because I would think that when you get a copyright of something or maybe I'm thinking of a patent more than a copyright, because if you have a patent of something, then anybody who does the same thing, then it would be illegal, and you could sue them because you have created that, whatever it is, product or mechanism, and you have done that where you now have legal rights to that. Now, as far as a copyright, I guess a copyright isn't one and that's it, because it's obvious, as you mentioned, over whatever it was, thousands and thousands that have also copyrighted the number or the actual spelling, I guess, EIGHT. So that's pretty wild stuff. I don't know, but I wouldn't have had that on my bingo card either.
Also from the NFL, have you been watching the off-season Hard Knocks?
Yes, I watched the first 2 episodes.
This is by far the best Hard Knocks there is. So much better than the training camp one.
Really?
I love this. I absolutely love this off-season stuff. I think it's amazing to actually watch these conversations in preparation for the first day of free agency, preparations for the draft, like the draft meetings they had with the quarterbacks, like when you got Brian Daboll throwing things at these quarterbacks and stuff, like that stuff is unbelievable. Like, it's amazing to me. And the free agency and like how a trade, like the discussions about trades and the conversations with agents and everything else, this to me is so much better. To me, this is 10 times better than any other Hard Knocks that you could do. Like, the off-season stuff is amazing.
Well, it's something different. Number one, the whole way they dealt with Saquon Barkley, that's very, very interesting. You're getting inside baseball, right? You're getting stuff that you would not normally see on the regular Hard Knocks. You're getting during the season. You're getting that information, some insight there. But yes, this is something completely different. This is more about personnel moves. This is more about off-season. It's not really player-oriented for the most part. You're not watching the players going through drills or dual practices with other teams where a fight breaks out, which you get every year with and there's nothing wrong with that, because I think Hard Knocks is great. No matter whether you're watching the preseason, whether you're watching the in-season, Hard Knocks is just great. But you're right about this. I'm not going to sit here and say it's the best, but it is the most intriguing, because you are getting more from management, ownership, the GMs deciding, the scouts. You're getting also information from the scouts as they as they prepare for the draft and what players they're looking at and how they break down each player. So, yeah, it's something different. I just think it's another home run for HBO and the great Liev Schreiber.
And Receiver, which is out now on Netflix, also awesome. They did the quarterback series last year. They're doing Receiver this year. Davante Adams he's an interesting character, and I still don't know what I think of Davante Adams. But I don't. He certainly is interesting, and it's great to see him on a daily basis, like the way he's kind of get an idea of kind of a little bit how his mind operates.
Yeah, he's out here where I am with Las Vegas after all those great years in Green Bay. By the way, the stadium is awesome out here, Allegiant Stadium. But as far as Adams is concerned, isn't there a lot of talk that Aaron Rodgers has come out and has kind of hinted toward maybe, I don't know if something's brewing as far as the possibility of the Jets dealing for him.
Well, you got to see on the show. I don't know which episode it was. I can't remember which. But when they played the Jets last year, like just what that relationship is. Like he was telling Aaron, like, because they hung out like the entire night before. He said they were in some restaurant for like 4 hours. And he's like at the game the next day. He's like, man, I really needed last night. Like that, you could just tell what Aaron Rodgers means to him. And Rodgers even says, like, yeah, I needed that too. Like those two guys, that is a special relationship those two guys have.
No, they're brothers. They're basically brothers in arms. But as far as the show is concerned, to see the frustration last year, especially early in the season when Adams wasn't getting any passes, and the reaction from other people, like putting the blame basically on those quarterbacks that they use, which was Garoppolo for a while there, and O'Connell, if I'm not mistaken, and just how they have pretty good clout as far as getting Garoppolo benched, and the reaction when the frustration settles in, games when they don't get a target or get a very limited amount of targets for a guy who's headed to Canton. I mean, you see all that insight with this receiver series. So it's enough. These sports series, there's really not too many that I can think of off the top of my head that I've been disappointed at. Most of these are home runs.
When they asked him about Garoppolo getting benched, and he just looked at the camera and said, I signed off on it. I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, okay, all righty then. That's what Devontae Adams thought of Jimmy Garoppolo. Good stuff. He's like, yep, I signed off on it. Like, okay, they came to you, they asked you, you said yes, bench him. Okay, that's cool, whatever it takes. That was interesting.
I want to go on record. Yeah, I want to go on record that I was part of getting him benched.
But, those two series are absolutely awesome stuff. But I love the off-season Hard Knocks. When we come back, I want to get into this ESPN list, the top 100 professional athletes of the 21st century. Do I want to tell you about Classic Arms when it comes to guns? Well, you can't find a bigger selection than what you're going to find at Classic Arms. Over 700 firearms in stock for home defense, hunting, whatever it is, however big, however small. If you're looking for new, if you're looking for used, whatever you're looking for, the folks at Classic Arms have what you're looking for. If you're looking to get rid of a gun, you want to sell a gun, or you want looking to trade your gun, they do that as well. They've got all the top brand names at Classic Arms, so you can check them out there. They guarantee the lowest price in town. They're the only gun importer in the Mid-South. They do free gun inspections and appraisals as well. They do it all at Classic Arms. 1740 Germantown Parkway, right behind the Corky's Barbecue in Cordova. Or you can find them online and shop 24/7 at ClassicArmsOfMemphis.com. Everything you need from the world of firearms, Classic Arms is the place. This is Sports 56 Mornings, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Visit Frontier Western Store today for new shirts and boots. Frontier is your top Carhartt store in the Mid-South. There's thousands of in-stock shirts and jeans. They have the classic K87 pocket tee in every color they make, including new ones just released. Available small to 4X. Want new jeans? Frontier has you covered with super tough work denim by Carhartt. And you've got to check out their selection of Ariat jeans for men, women, and children. You'll love how easy it is to find the size and style you need. Have you seen Frontier's remodeled world-famous boot showroom? It continues to expand. New styles by Ariat just arrived, plus plenty of in-stock proven classics too. Whether you need work or dress boots, trust that Frontier's the place to come. See thousands of pairs of Ariat boots and thousands more by Dan Post, Corral, Durango, Rocky, Twisted X, and others. And Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so you know just the local shop to visit. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967.
Smoke is our sauce.
What is the Central Barbecue slogan? What are we playing?
Well, I just think that we don't emphasize often enough that even though Central Barbecue offers a variety of sauces at all of their many locations, Central Barbecue's barbecue doesn't even really need the sauce.
We should mention that more often. Central Barbecue doesn't take any shortcuts. The barbecue at Central Barbecue is slow-smoked Memphis style for 24 hours to make it so flavorful you really don't need sauce.
That was my point. Well, boy, do they have great sauces.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying I'm going to go sauce-free at Central Barbecue. I'm just saying I could.
Again, exactly my point. Look at my copy. It's the first thing I said. You just hijacked the commercial.
See how it feels?
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. In these uncertain economic times, there are so many things as a contractor and a business owner that I cannot control. The rising cost of materials, not to mention fuel and transportation costs. In the last 2 years, shingle prices have almost doubled, and commercial materials have doubled. And I don't have to tell you what fuel costs these days. But you know what I can control? How much markup I put on a project. I have always prided myself in knowing I never gouge a customer. But in an effort to ensure my crews have work and my customers are being treated fairly, I have lowered my profit margin, hoping to give you a price you can live with and keeping my crews busy. So if you need a roof or gutters, please give us a call. 5 Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 5 Roofing, a proud sponsor of Tiger Athletics and a member of the Tigers home team. 367-0050 or MemphisRoofer.com. 367-0050 or MemphisRoofer.com.
At Vanguard, you're more than just an investor, you're an owner. So whether you're planning for retirement or trying to save up for your next big adventure, Vanguard will help work alongside you to set personalized investment goals. That's the value of ownership. All investing is subject to risk. Vanguard is owned by its funds, which are owned by Vanguard's fund shareholder clients. Vanguard Marketing Corporation, distributor.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home in Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
To reveal the full spectrum of its dazzling color.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Shane Lowry birdies 18 to get in and finish his round at 2 under today. He is at 7 under for the tournament. He has a 2-shot lead over first-round leader Daniel Brown, who is through 12 holes in his second round. Scotty Scheffler, he's lurking. He's at 3 under par through 2 under today through 16, 3 under par for the tournament. Justin Rose also 3 under par for the tournament. Justin Thomas, who shot 3 under yesterday, is 5 over through 5 today. That is a big turnaround for Justin.
He is, but even though he put together that first round yesterday, did you really think that he has turned around his game? I figured there's going to be an implosion somewhere. He's just not the same guy that was a top 5, top 10 golfer just several years ago. So, yeah, I'm not surprised to see him go to the wayside today. Now, maybe he can recover, and I hope he can. I like the guy. I had a chance to meet him one time. But as far as Lowry is concerned, he's going to be tough to beat. He's playing on courses that he's very used to. He's a good, solid player. But as you mentioned, the lurking word with Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah, he's Shane Lowry has put on a putting exhibition through these first 2 rounds. Like yesterday it seemed like he didn't miss a putt. He one-putted like 6 straight greens. He's just absolutely making putts, everything he looks at through these first 2 rounds. And yeah, he's certainly obviously won one before, and he's got off to a good start in this one. So ESPN has done a list of their top 100 athletes of the 21st century, pro athletes, as a way, although they do count Olympians because now they're all pros, whatever. So the top 10, number 10, Kobe Bryant. Number 9, Usain Bolt. Number 8, Tiger Woods. Number 7, Simone Biles. Number 6, Roger Federer. Number 5, Tom Brady. Number 4, LeBron James. Number 3, Messi. Number 2, Serena Williams. Number 1, Michael Phelps. Your thoughts?
This is, first of all, it's an impossible list. It's only an opinion, and everybody's entitled to an opinion. It's an impossible list because when you mentioned this, I hadn't seen it yet, so I looked it up during the break, and I'm wondering, what is the criteria for this? When I look at the best athletes, and this is the top athletes, professional / Olympians since 2000. When I think of athlete, I think of like their physical capability, their athletic prowess. But this is not that. This is
about accomplishments, what they've done in their careers, like their athletic careers.
Right. When I first thought about it, I thought it was going to be about actual athletes. And I go, man, how are they going to compare a swimmer to a basketball player to a tennis player? But this is all about accomplishments. Okay. It's hard to argue Michael Phelps. It is really hard to argue. Serena, unbelievable. Messi, this is a good list. Quite honestly, LeBron could be a little bit lower in the top 10, but he's definitely top 10. Biles, unbelievable. Who else you mentioned? Tiger, are you kidding me? Probably, I don't know. I don't know if I would. Who's after that? They got Djokovic.
Tom Brady's a 7-time champion and a 5-time MVP.
Right.
And he's only 5th on this list.
I was about to get to that.
Again, it's hard to compare those accomplishments versus a Michael Phelps or a Serena in individual sports, things like that. What Tom Brady and LeBron have accomplished in team sports. But, yeah, I mean, it's number 5 for Tom Brady seems low.
No, I was going to say that. I was going to get to that. I know your girl, Katie Ledecky, she's 15th. But, it's hard to pass some of these other people, but that seems a little low. Here's the one. Steph Curry is 14th, right? Kobe Bryant's 10th. Don't you think Steph Curry should be higher than Kobe?
I would say no. I would say Kobe would be ahead of Steph.
Okay. I mean, certainly you'd argue back and forth. I mean, Usain Bolt.
He's got 5.
I don't know.
He's got 5 championships. Steph has
4.
He's 2-time Finals MVP. Steph has 1. Did Steph win 1?
Or do we have?
He's got an MVP award.
Yeah, Kobe's an 18-time All-Star.
I mean, I would certainly put Kobe ahead of Steph Curry.
Yeah. He has 1 Finals MVP.
Okay.
Steph does have 1? Yeah. I thought he got the last one, I think, if I remember correctly. He didn't win it because Durant had a couple. I think he got their last one.
Yeah. And I think if you take both names around the world, I think people will lean more to Kobe than it would Steph.
Oh, I don't think there's any question.
Kobe
Zach,
also
but this is not
all-defensive
I don't think
member.
it's.
Steph
and this is not a popularity. Yeah, no, you guys are right. You guys are right. I mean, Kobe should be ahead, but this is certainly not a popularity thing. But if it was a popularity thing, Kobe's. He's probably more popular than LeBron James, to a certain extent. There's a lot of detractors of LeBron James. There's a lot of people who love him, but Kobe universally loved. But it's not just about popularity. It's about accomplishments. And when I look at Kobe didn't do what LeBron did, win a championship basically on his own in Cleveland. He had Shaq to lean on too. So, look, it's a good list. I mean, it's hard to argue with the soccer guys like Messi, and then Ronaldo's in the top 20. He's not in the top 10. But what Messi has done, Serena just dominating women's tennis.
I think
this is a pretty good list.
I think Serena's too high on my. To me, LeBron is ahead of Serena. Tom Brady's ahead of Serena. I think Serena's way too high.
23-time major champion. How many majors did she win? I mean, the bulk of them, if not all of them, were in this century, correct? When did she start?
She might have. I think she got her first one in '99. They're pretty much all this century.
Okay, so almost all this century. 23 majors. I mean, I know Serena's your girl, man, but I think she's I think she might be properly placed at number 2, to be honest with you. I mean, she's a hell of an athlete. I'm just kind of, Brady, yeah, you would think Brady. Okay, comes down to Brady versus LeBron. Who should be ahead of each other?
I would put Brady ahead of LeBron, but I would put Brady. Even I'll accept Michael Phelps. I mean, I'm fine with Phelps at 1. I would put Brady 2, LeBron 3. Messi, I don't even know about Messi because I don't know what the hell he's done. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea what Messi's actually accomplished, what his championships, any of that
Pretty
stuff.
impressive.
So I don't know. Like, Messi, if you want to put Messi up there, whatever. I don't but of the American, like, there's no way I would put Serena ahead of Tom Brady or LeBron James.
All right, let me ask you this. Brady 5, James 4, Messi 3, Serena 2, Phelps 1. Anybody not belong in the top 5?
I would not have Serena in the top 5.
You wouldn't have her in the top 5. Okay. So who would you place in there and knock her down? You know what I mean? You're going to knock her down. Who are you going to replace her with?
I could put Simone Biles up there. I could put Tiger Woods up there.
Would you go Federer? But Federer and Djokovic are basically, and Nadal, they were all incredibly great tennis players, but they're all kind of knock each other out.
I give those guys more credit than I give Serena because they all had to play each other at least. They had Serena didn't have, she didn't have the other than her sister. She didn't have that other dominant player. So she could rack them up. Those guys actually had to beat each other to do it.
So Serena's first title was in 1999, and that was in the U.S. Open.
Is that okay? So that's what everything else is 2000 and beyond.
Yeah.
Yes, everything.
But I mean, to her credit, though, she did play with a baby in her stomach and won a title.
That's great. Yes, LeBron or Brady never played pregnant. I'll give him that.
I think Messi did, though. I think one year he did. Corky's Ribs and Barbecue. Corky's Ribs and Barbecue. One of our great
LeBron has done a lot more for his offspring. Obviously, he's gotten him an NBA contract.
Don't get me started, man. I was there the other day. The Bronny Mania, absolutely crazy. And he came out and he hit his first jumper. The place went absolutely nuts. Now, I don't know if people are going absolutely nuts, like bonkers every time they go to Corky's, but I know they're coming out of Corky's very satisfied with that delicious slow smoke barbecue. There's barbecue places here in Vegas, but come on. Compared to Memphis, are you kidding me? Corky's is one of the greats. 4 locations, Poplar Avenue in Memphis, Poplar Avenue in Collierville, Germantown Parkway in Cordova, Goodman Road in Olive Branch. They will cater any event you got coming up this summer, this fall. Think Corky's. When you want an event catered, they'll start you out as low as $8.99 per person. Party packs that start at just $7.49. Lunch specials every day. And when you go and you get an entree, whether it be the barbecue platter, whether it be the award-winning catfish plate, whatever the case may be, you can add a third of a rack of ribs for just $7.99. They're open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner. It's Corky's Ribs and Barbecue.
I think I might put Kobe ahead of Serena. I don't know.
I think you're just hating on Serena now.
No, I don't like. Again, what she did is great, but like all these other guys, all these people have done great things in their career. I just wonder about the competition she faced in doing that. I don't know. That's my opinion. Coming up in hour number 3, Rob Fisher will join us. We'll talk some SEC football with him. He's down at Media Days. Also Grizzlies Summer League with him. Then we've got 10 in a row still to come your way as well in hour number 3, Sports 56 Mornings on this Friday morning, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Everybody together, let's drive to the beach, to the lake, to the mountains, to anywhere in what you really want to drive in. I'm out here at Olive Branch at All-Star Chevy. Hundreds of new and pre-owned Silverados are out here right now, some marked 12% off invoice. Add up all the All-Star special discounts and look for Costco member deals. It's one sweet buyer's market with financing as low as 1.9. No payments for 90 days on a bunch of new All-Star Chevys. And nothing beats road trips in a new Tahoe. And get an extra $500 bonus if you're in healthcare, an educator, a college grad, military, or first responder. And no matter what pre-owned you're looking for, it's here at Olive Branch. Jeeps, 4Runners, Expeditions, Navigators, all the trucks here in Olive Branch where you could drive them all. Bring any vehicle you want to sell and get a big check today. So let's go. Don't miss All-Star Chevy's special summer sale going on right now in Olive Branch, or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Summertime's finally here, and that means it's time to party. Lucky for you, Family Leisure is having a summertime to party sale. Now, what's all included in this party sale? Practically everything. 24-foot above ground pools for as little as $19.99. All ladders, filter systems, and even robotic cleaners are 20% off. Come in and look at all of the in-stock patio furniture Family Leisure has. Plus, it's up to 50% off. Play gyms for the kids, that's $1,000 off. Patio umbrellas, take 20% off. You can get a 4-person hot tub for just under $3,000. We know you're really going to just use it for yourself. Family Leisure has discounted pricing on all in-stock pool toys and floats while the supplies last, so you better get in quick. Plus, Family Leisure has special financing available. Just ask an associate for all the details. Summertime means party time, and Family Leisure is ready for any party. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun all come together.
Hi, everyone. Broadcaster and ER physician Dr. Jerry Punch here. We all know about the speed of sound, but have you ever thought about the sounds of speeding? If you drive over the speed limit, there are lots of sounds that you might hear. You could hear the sound of your vehicle crashing, the sound of first responders desperately trying to save you. You could even hear the sound of people crying at a funeral. Because if you drive over the speed limit, you could do damage that's beyond repair. One way or another, speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
If you want a great experience, you need to go to Genesis.
Meet Kendall Womble, who shopped several other jewelry stores but ended up at Genesis Diamonds with a bigger, better quality diamond for less.
Based on what I had seen elsewhere, I didn't know that this size diamond would be possible for me to have on my finger.
Are you ring shopping? Genesis Diamonds has one of the nation's largest selections of GIA-certified diamonds at the guaranteed best prices, bar none.
You're going to get the most value for your dollar at Genesis Diamonds. You're going to get the best customer service in town and probably in the entire state.
And that's what Kendall really loved, the personal attention, the relaxed environment, the no-pressure shopping experience.
This jewelry store was like home. It wasn't walking into corporate America. Nothing's a sales pitch here. It's all genuine. They're like a family.
Genesis Diamonds.
There would be no reason that I could ever think of that you would not go to Genesis first. And if you leave Genesis and try to shop around, you will come back to Genesis.
Memphis's direct diamond importer at Poplar and Perkins Extended.
Here for Brian Elder Roofing. For nearly 2 decades, we've installed some of the best roof systems across the Mid-South. To the tens of thousands of clients we've served, we are honored. So many of you call our team at Brian Elder Roofing your roofers. Our team is dedicated to serving you and keeping your family safe, dry, and mold-free. The recent hailstorms have caused massive damage, and many of these will go unnoticed for years, even though the golf ball-sized hail we just experienced in the Mid-South compromises even the best-built roof system. Whether we find damage or not, your photos are securely stored for future reference. Call Brian Elder Roofing today for a total evaluation of your entire roof system free. We will not try to sell you a roof if all you need is a repair. Call me at 901-867-0303. That's 901-867-0303. Or visit us online at brianelderroofing.com.
This Sports 56 traffic report is brought to you by Luttrell Belting. They keep you moving.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning, T-Dot. Still out here with a couple of disabled vehicles. Plenty of radar today on I-40 out in Fayette County as you work your way inbound. Still a little bit of volume there on 40 West coming past 269 in from Fayette County into Shelby County. Still holding up through Midtown right now. 240 northbound over here up by Lamar. Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64 is your full-service, family-owned jewelry store right here in Memphis. Go see them this weekend. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jenkins Fuels and More. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, 9:05 the time. Rob Fisher going to join us in just a moment. As we begin hour number 3 on this Friday. Going to be a beautiful day here in the Mid-South. Get outdoors, take advantage of some beautiful weather. Sunny skies, highs in the mid-80s today. Much more of the same over the weekend as well. So some beautiful, beautiful weather that we are in store for this weekend. Hour number 3 of the show is brought to you by Jenkins Floors and More.
Look, if you are a contractor out there or a homeowner and you are looking to put in some flooring or carpeting, you want to put in quality stuff, and you want to do so at a discount price. And that's what you get at Jenkins Floors and More. With 3 locations, they have the new warehouse at 2356 Goodman Road. That's in Horn Lake, Mississippi. So a short trip from anywhere in the metropolitan Memphis area. They also have stores in Cleveland, Mississippi, and in Little Rock, Arkansas. Family owned and operated. They got all the best material, the SPC, WPC vinyls, which are scratch resistant and waterproof, ceramic and porcelain tiles, hardwoods by Portercraft, carpeting from Southern Luxury Carpet. They got the backsplashes for your kitchens and bathrooms, plantation shutters and blinds. It's all there at Jenkins Floors and More, and they sell it wholesale. So the skip the middleman, going to save you lots of money. They will also come out, they will give you a free estimate, and they can do the job for you and do so with a 2-week turnaround. So give them a call at 662-469-9350. That's 662-469-9350, or stop by any of their 3 locations, including 2356 Goodman Road. Talk to Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins. Tell them you heard it here on Sports 56 Mornings. It's Jenkins Floors and More.
Rob Fisher is, of course, the Grizzlies sideline reporter on the television broadcasts. He's part of Grind City Media, was down at SEC Media Days this week covering that. You can also hear the Night Court podcast with he and Brevin Knight. You can follow him on X at The Fish Nation, and he joins us now. Fish, what's up?
Not much. How you fellas doing?
First of all, I got this question for
Fish.
you. If the Grizzlies win the Summer League championship, do you get a ring?
I doubt it.
Yeah, I figured that's I've thought the same.
I mean, because last time they won the Summer League championship, I didn't even get a damn T-shirt. so I'm assuming I'm out on the ring.
Yeah, that would make sense. That would make a whole lot of sense. Before we get to the Grizzlies and the Summer League, you were down at SEC Media Days this week. We were talking earlier. It seemed like kind of a pretty quiet. Like there wasn't any controversy really. Like it just seemed sort of ho-hum for SEC Media Days.
I think I was telling staff, I think last night, that it felt like one of the most boring SEC Media Days I've ever been to, and this is my 21st that I've been to, and it just there was nothing. There wasn't humor. There wasn't news making. I mean, it seemed like everything kind of happened beforehand. You know, Oklahoma and Texas coming in, and we've been talking about it for over a year. That was even kind of already old news. And nobody really made any news. Everybody, it was what it turned out to be was a farewell party for Nick Saban.
Yeah, if he hadn't been there as a media guy, I'm not sure what anybody would have talked about.
Yeah, no kidding. So that was kind of cool, to see all the coaches really give Nick Saban his props, and it was also kind of neat to hear all the coaches talk about Monty Kiffin and the influence that he had on a lot of them. That was kind of neat too. So, but those were really the 2 big things. I mean, and then everybody talking about their teams. But other than that, there was nothing. I mean, everybody keeps saying, what was the big story of the week? And I'm like, I don't know. I guess Texas and Oklahoma coming. So,
yes, and you're right, which we've known for a while, but. It seems like, and I don't know about the players themselves, Fish, because I didn't see one interview or listen to one interview with the players. I just didn't have the time out here in Vegas, as you probably know. But personalities, we don't have even Phil Fulmer, but Steve Spurrier, now Saban's going. Now Kiffin's a personality, and you usually get good stuff from Lane. But other than that, are there any riveting personalities as far as coaches are concerned?
I'd say Eli Drinkowitz, probably. But even Drinkowitz, he came up with, and started his whole thing with this 5-minute dissertation on Mike Leach needing to be in the Hall of Fame. And it was like, okay. So it wasn't, Drinkwitz is usually the one that's making you kind of laugh and acting a little goofy and telling some jokes, and he wasn't even in that mood. So, yeah, the personalities, man, I'm trying to think. I think Lane Kiffin, we want him to be more of a personality, and he's really not.
He is a Twitter personality. Lane is great on Twitter.
Yes.
He is a 140 character personality.
That's exactly
he's
right.
not great, and obviously the fact that he just lost his dad right beforehand, he's certainly not going to be in a great joking mood anyway. But he's the one-liners is his thing, and Twitter is perfect for him.
Yeah, no doubt. That's exactly what he is. And I'll tell you the one guy, because there just aren't, as I said, Eli Drinkwitz. Steve Sarkisian's good. He's got a pretty big personality. And but one guy who's gotten better is Kirby Smart. And I thought he was really better this year than what he's been. And it feels like it's kind of like he's the new Saban. It's the conference is turned over to Kirby Smart. It's his conference, and he's in charge, and it kind of felt like that when Kirby was speaking and when Kirby was walking around, that he's the new top dog.
So, Fish, did you vote in the preseason poll, all that stuff there?
I did.
All right, so what do you have are you in agreement that the top 4 are Georgia, Texas, Alabama, Ole Miss in some order?
Did it come out?
No, I have not seen the results yet.
Let's see. You said Georgia. Who'd you say?
Georgia, 4? Alabama, Ole Miss, and Texas seem to be everybody puts those 4 at the top. Do you have those?
Yes, I have those 4 at the top.
What order did you put them in?
I got Ole Miss in 1.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Texas 2, Georgia 3, and Alabama 4.
Georgia 3, is that because of the schedule?
Yes.
Is there any chance, Fish, of a little bit of a struggle transitional-wise with Texas, even though we know they're loaded and got a great quarterback? You think they could hit a few speed bumps along the way, or is there going to be smooth sailing?
Well, sure, they could hit a few speed bumps. I mean, I think maybe the big story this week, if there was a big story this week, was the schedule. I mean, with the addition of Texas and Oklahoma, with the league now going to one league, no divisions, getting rid of the divisions, there's nobody in the league that you say, wow, they got a really easy schedule. I mean, the last couple of years, Georgia's had a pretty relatively easy schedule. But this year, there's nobody. I mean, you can look at a couple of teams and say they have a manageable schedule, but they still have 3 or 4 games on it that are really difficult. There's not a team that doesn't have a very, very difficult schedule. Talking about Texas and what they're going to do, and can they stumble coming in? Their schedule's not terrible. I mean, they got, but this is a team whose schedule's not terrible. They're at Michigan. They have Oklahoma, Georgia, and I can't even read my own writing. But they have Oklahoma and Georgia. I mean, that's difficult. In years past, where you had to go undefeated to make the playoffs, I don't think there's a team in the SEC that has that chance to do that this year because of the schedule. But now, because of the playoff being 12 teams, and you could probably lose up to 2 games, that I think, there are some that are manageable and some that are just really, really difficult. And there are some teams in this league that I don't know how they're going to survive.
Yeah, the advantage for Texas is that the Oklahoma game counts as a road game for them. And so their road games in conference are at Vanderbilt, at Arkansas, and then at Texas A&M, which obviously that's a huge game. But, I mean, those are not 3 of the top teams, whereas Georgia has to go to Texas, to Alabama, and to Ole Miss. Again, we talk about those are the top 4 teams that most people believe, and Georgia has to play at all 3 of the other ones. That's brutal.
Yeah, and they got a bunch of them, and those are away from home, too. I mean, they have Clemson, Texas, Ole Miss, Alabama, all away from home. So, I mean, how can you go through that unscathed? It's going to be very difficult. But I think even with the schedules the way they are and how difficult they are, because these schedules are so difficult, because the playoff is 12 teams, I believe out of the 12-team playoff, you're looking at 5 for the SEC.
Are you really? You believe there's going to be 5? Almost half of the teams will be from the SEC?
Yes, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact of you go down the list of what you think other conferences are going to get.
Yeah.
Now, you know, if you think the Big 12 is going to get 2, well, then the number goes down. But I don't think the Big 12 gets 2. Heck, the ACC, I'm giving them 2, and they might not get 2. The Big 10, giving them 3. Who knows if they'll get 3? But I think there's a possibility that you're going to have 5 or 6 spots open for the SEC, and I think you'll have 5 or 6 teams that could be battling. I think you have 8 or 9. There are probably 9 teams in the SEC who believe today that they can make the playoffs.
Yep. Let me ask you this, Fish. Let me ask you this, because we had a couple of guests last week. I forget who it was, and we talked about this topic. And I'm not saying that you're wrong. I think you can be very much right on with the amount of teams you think from the SEC will get in. How about if we have in the Big 12 and the ACC 2 11-1 teams playing in their conference championships, and it's Clemson and Florida State, and it's Oklahoma State versus whoever in the Big 12. What is the committee going to do when they have a 2-loss championship runner-up in one of the power conferences, and then you're talking about a 4th or 5th team in the SEC, or even a 3rd or 4th team in the Big 10?
I don't know. I mean, it's going to come down to who you played, and that's the reason why I look at it that way. That the SEC could have that many spots, because their schedules are just so daunting. And if we're talking about strength of schedule, you know, the SEC has had. I was talking to Greg Sankey the other day, and I was asking him about it. You know, what's the standard going to be? And he said, we've had years where we've had the 4th team playoff, and we've had 7 teams in the mix in November. Last year, they had 7 teams in the mix in November. So you go into another November where you got 7 teams in the mix. Well, now you got room to put all those teams in. So I think it's the best conference in football. I think the schedules are the best in football. And I think, you know, all these teams that I'm looking at, I said 9 that think they can make it. Well, I have 6 of them only losing 2 games.
Wow. Yeah, and if you only have 2 losses in the SEC, like, you certainly have a case. Depending on, as long as you don't lose any of your non-conference, you certainly have a case, again, because of the schedule that we're talking about within the conference. Shifting gears, Grizzlies have secured their place in the Summer League playoffs. They'll play in a semifinal game tomorrow, and that's big news there. But Zach Edey's hurt again. I mean, obviously, it's sprained ankles, whatever, and who cares that much at this point in time. But it is a little disappointing that we didn't get to see more of Zach Edey in the Summer League.
Yeah, it is disappointing. And all we were doing was begging for him to come out and play, and then he does, and he rolls his other ankle. I mean, this is a guy. I think the number is, and this is according to Gary Parrish, I think the number is 138 games at Purdue, and he played in 137.
Yeah, he missed 1 game there, and I think it was because of COVID.
Yeah. So I'm trying my best to stay positive about the whole thing. You know, that injury yesterday, first of all, it's not the same ankle, so that's good. And second, when you're watching the game and you land on a guy, that's going to happen. I mean, the whole, he shouldn't have played. He shouldn't have played. He shouldn't have played. He wasn't ready to play. Well, it had nothing to do with the other ankle, and it was a basketball play. I mean, if you're going to be scared that guys are going to be hurt, that you're just not going to play them, well, then what's the point? And you're not going to be able to succeed. So I'm not overly concerned about it. I was disappointed, as you said, disappointed not being able to see him. But the good news is, in just the short time that we did see him, he looked like he didn't belong in Summer League.
Yes.
And
right.
And that's what you want to see in Summer League. You want to see your guys that don't belong. And I think that's what we've seen from the Grizzlies as a whole unit for the most part. It's guys that don't belong in summer league because they're NBA players, and that's good to see, especially when your young guys are doing that.
I think you're right on, Fish. I had the chance to watch him the other day, and I want to give credit to Zach Kleiman. He said, and he continued to say it, that he was going to play. They were going to play Edey, and I didn't believe it. I thought they were putting him in bubble wrap after the first 3 games in Vegas. He hadn't played. I said, "There's no way, man. He's riding us along. He is no way. There's no way they're going to play him." And they played him. And it's unfortunate, like, as you said, he rolls the other ankle. But Kleiman was a man to his of his word, and they did play the guy. But you are right. I am watching Scottie Pippen look like an absolute number 2 point guard in the league. G.G. Jackson, we already saw what he was capable of doing at the end of last season, getting all those opportunities. He looks like a star in the future. Even LaRadia played well. I don't know if that'll translate into NBA regular season games, but he was spectacular. Spencer was really good. I mean, fun kid to watch, energetic, shooting the 3. And then we've seen flashes from Jalen Wells. It has been a success. I don't care if they win the thing and Fish gets his ring or not, but I think it's been a huge success. It's been a huge success.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't even mention Trey Jemison, who's looked really good too. You know,
Right.
it's like I said, when you get to summer league games, you can look really bad, and when you look really bad, it's alarming.
Ask Alex Sarr.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
But if you look really good, that's good because it shows that you're an NBA guy. I mean, for Scottie Pippen Jr. to go out there and dominate every matchup that he's had, that's impressive, and it's a great sign. To see Trey Jemison dominate inside the way that he has been a great sign. G.G. Jackson to dominate the way that he is. I mean, all these guys look like they don't belong in summer league, and that's what you hope for when you get to summer league. Is your guys just look like? I mean, let's face it. You're playing guys who aren't going to be in the NBA. You should look like that, and the Grizzlies have looked like that, and it's been a really good sign.
Fish, let me ask you about G.G. Obviously, when he looks, the first game in Utah aside, he's looked very good. But G.G., I assume in his entire life, he's like been the guy. He was the number 1 kid in his class, so certainly coming up through high school. He reclassifies. He goes to South Carolina for a year. He didn't have a great year, but he's still their guy. Like, he was the guy there. Last year, he starts with the hustle where, everybody knows, G.G.'s the guy here because he's the one guy that we're trying to develop. By the time he gets to the Grizzlies, everybody's hurt, so he's like, he can do whatever he wants. He can kind of shoot when he wants, all that stuff. Is there any concern, if he's going to be in the rotation, how he fits in when he's literally the 5th option on the court?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's concern. Well, I don't think concern's the right word.
Yeah, I mean,
there's just a question of how is he going to grow as a player with his numbers going as down as they're going to go down? Because he's not going to get the shots that he got last year. He's not going to get the points that he got last year. He's not going to get the minutes that he got last year. So how is he going to grow while those things all go down? Can he do other things? Can he defend? Can he be a playmaker? Can he score in the limited time and the limited amount of shots that he gets? Those are all things we're just going to have to find out and wait and see, because he's gotten the opportunity to shoot, and he's gotten the opportunity to just kind of do whatever he wants on the floor. But that's not going to be the case this year. So how does he grow where his numbers do not grow? And that's what we'll have to wait and see. And it's about what he does without the ball. It's about what he does when he gets those rare opportunities with the ball. Does he take advantage of those? So it'll be really interesting. I'm not concerned about it because I think he's a really good basketball player, but but I'm looking forward to seeing that transition of Gigi not being the guy and how he performs when he's not the guy.
Yeah, and I think concern is not necessarily the word, but it's just, it is. Well, yes, how does, because we look at him, everybody's like so excited because, we see him do, but that's not what he's going to be asked to do this year. Like, he's got to do other stuff this year.
Yeah.
But with the current makeup of the roster right now, Fish, let's assume, and we shouldn't assume because another move could be made, but let's just look at the roster right now. We see Laravia stepping up here in the Summer League, and I'm not sure, again, that's going to translate to the regular season. We certainly hope, the Grizzlies hope. But do you see Gigi as a rotation player? And if he's a rotation player, wouldn't he be one of the biggest offensive threats in that second unit?
Absolutely. Absolutely, he's a rotation guy and going to be one of the biggest threats on that second unit, for sure. Unless he's playing on the first. In starting, I don't know if that's out of the question.
Really?
Where he would start. I mean, at your 3 position right now, who you got penciled in, Vince?
Well, I believe it's going to be Ja, Smart, and Bain starting.
Okay, and then Edie and Jaren.
Yeah. And see, to me, then I look at the next off the bench. You've got Vince. You've got Brandon Clark. If Luke Kennard is back, you've got Luke Kennard. You've got Santi Aldama. To me, Gigi's like a fringe rotation guy.
I'd be surprised if he's a fringe rotation guy.
I mean, to me, it's like him and Santi are battling for the minutes.
Yeah, that could be. Hey, I mean, you just mentioning that, how much better does that make you feel about the team?
Oh, exactly. That's why, these power rankings and stuff that have the Grizzlies 10th and 11th in the Western Conference, I just don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, the thing that's concerned me about the Grizzlies over the last couple of years is 7 through 11. 7 through 11 wasn't good enough. And I think your 7 through 11 right now are much better than they were the last 2 years. I mean, I think it's good. It's as good as going back to Kyle Anderson, DeAnthony Melton, and those guys being on the team, where you had the depth.
I agree.
I think you have that sort of depth again now, and that's going to make a big, huge factor for the Grizzlies this season because, if the deeper you are, the better you are. And the Grizzlies, they found Vince Williams, they found Gigi Jackson, and then to add a couple of rookies who you think can play as well. I think you're just better in that position, and that's going to bode well for the Grizzlies this season. I think Gigi, go back to Gigi, I'd be surprised. I think Gigi's got to be in the rotation.
I don't know. I start
the
going
guys
through
that
the
you
numbers.
just mentioned, I don't know whose spot he takes.
That's the thing. I go through these and I'm like, who's not playing out of this group? And again, I'm not even including a backup point guard there because I'm assuming Smart and Bain are the backup point guards. So again, there's just a lot of guys. Now, maybe Kennard does it. Maybe they don't not bring a Kennard back, or maybe they trade somebody. Maybe Santi ends up being whatever. I don't know, but there's just a lot of guys. It's hard to find minutes for all these guys. Now, granted, guys will miss games, all that stuff, so there's plenty of minutes that will end up happening. But if everybody's truly healthy, I don't know who's sitting.
First of all, Eli, hush about guys missing games. They missed enough last season.
Well, they'll just sit out. Guys will, they're just, there's going to be guys sitting out games.
I'm kidding.
So there will be minutes for Gigi there.
I also agree completely with Fish. At 7 through 11, they're as deep as they have been in a while, which is a good problem to have. But I'm with Fish. I think they got to get Gigi Jackson some minutes, but at whose expense? And then what about Kennard? I think Kennard's definitely coming back. I think they'll end up. I think Zaire Williams is on his way out. They'll figure out the financial package for Kennard to make both people happy. So you'll have that weapon off the bench. You'll have Gigi off the bench. You're right about the guard stuff, Eli. I mean, they can easily just stagger Smart and Bain and use them. But I still, Fish, what do you think about this? I said it earlier. I still think they will go. Taylor will give the minutes to Derrick Rose until he inevitably gets hurt again.
Maybe. I mean,
they did it last year.
Yeah, they did do it last year.
When he was playing, they didn't have Ja.
That's true.
Like they did.
Well, that's a good point too. That's
I mean,
a good
John,
point.
we know. So they didn't have the main point guard who was going to play 35 minutes at the point guard position. So it was a lot different last year when Derrick Rose was playing.
Yeah, and let's remember, Scottie Pippen's still on the two-way, so you're talking 50 games. So, are you planning on? Is your plan the backup point guard to be Marcus Smart or Desmond Bain or Luke Kennard or one of those guys to just run the offense when Ja's not on the floor? I don't know. I don't know what Derrick Rose's role is going to be, and it's amazing we haven't really heard about Derrick Rose at all.
No, I think he is there.
Right.
At this point, I think he is a figurehead. Basically, like he's just a guy. I don't see any reason why he should play. To be honest, it just doesn't make sense why he would play, especially with what Pippen is doing in the summer league. So, Fish.
Yeah.
Thank you as always, man. He is Rob Fisher, Grizzlies sideline reporter with Grind City Media. He's got the Night Court podcast with Brevin Knight as well. Fish, we enjoyed it as always, man. Thank you.
Hey, anytime, fellas.
Thank
you
you,
much. You got it.
Rob Fisher joining us, talking a little SEC football, talking some Grizzlies as well. When we come back, time for 10 in a row here on Sport 56 Mornings and Sport 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
In financial trouble and need some help? Call Jimmy McElroy at McElroy & Associates at 901-363-7283. At McElroy & Associates, they understand that bad things can happen to good people. Jimmy has helped thousands of people overcome financial problems in 30-plus years of experience and is licensed in Tennessee and Mississippi. They make this process as easy as possible. Contact them today to find out how you can get a fresh start. That's Jimmy McElroy & Associates at 901-363-7283.
All 650 acquisition fee, $20,000 per year, 20 cents excess mileage, Forte RE 794066, MSRP 21820, Telluride RG 543,666, MSRP 39835, EV9 R602 29603, MSRP 61035. Includes all rebates and incentives and PF 695. Includes tax, title, license, registration, and fees. Must finance through Hyundai with approved credit valid through 7/31/24. Dealer stock only.
I got Jeff Allen on the line, Dawson Kia, South Mount Moriah. Hey, dude, you ready to rock our world?
You better believe it, Randy. How about 41 MPG Highway in a 2024 Kia Forte LXS, $199 a month, $37.99 due at signing. 2024 Kia Telluride S, $379 per month, $39.99 due at signing. And 304 EPA estimated range for $389 a month in a 2024 Kia EV9 Lite, or get 0% for 48 months, $49.99 due at signing, all 24-month leases.
Plus, every Gossett Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
Or online, KiaMountMoriah.com.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. In these uncertain economic times, there are so many things as a contractor and a business owner that I cannot control. The rising cost of materials, not to mention fuel and transportation costs. In the last 2 years, shingle prices have almost doubled, and commercial materials have doubled. And I don't have to tell you what fuel costs these days. But you know what I can control? How much markup I put on a project. I have always prided myself in knowing I never gouge a customer. But in an effort to ensure my crews have work and my customers are being treated fairly, I have lowered my profit margin, hoping to give you a price you can live with and keeping my crews busy. So if you need a roof or gutters, please give us a call. Five Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. Five Ash Roofing, a proud sponsor of Tiger Athletics and a member of the Tigers home team. 367-0050 or MemphisRoofer.com. 367-0050 or MemphisRoofer.com.
Make your next grill your last with a Big Green Egg. Smoke, bake, roast, sear, and grill, all with a lifetime warranty. Save money on fuel, eating out, and replacing expensive grills that cannot match the flavor of the Big Green Egg. Ready to cook in only 10 to 15 minutes with temperatures below 200, above 700, and anywhere in between with ease. Change your at-home cooking experience for life. Go to shop.biggreenegg.com.
It's the Gossett Mitsubishi Motors Summer Sales Event, and you won't find a better bang for your buck. So get to Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike and get 43 MPG Highway and 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage, $17,980 or $299 a month. 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, $26,530 or $379 a month. 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, we Gossett, $26,530 or $379 a month. And get vacation ready in 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander, $29,900 or $399 a month. month. Plus peace of mind with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Gossip Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, and 24/7 at MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossip Motor Cars.
84 month, 500 military rebate, 500 loyalty, and 500 trade-in assist. Mirage RHO 10843, MSRP 18480. Sport RU1 11873, MSRP 28030. Outlander RCO 63695, MSRP 314. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 95 FM. This hour brought to you by Jenkins Floors and More. And once again, our Greg Gaston and Eli Support.
Welcome back here in the Family Leisure Studios. Eli and Zach with you. Greg is in Las Vegas. Time now for 10 in a row.
Not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8, not 9, but 10 in a row.
10 in a row. It's time for you to win a great prize package. It's brought to you each and every week by the folks at the Owner's Box and by Napa Cafe. Napa Cafe celebrating 26 years in business this year, 2024. Glenda Hastings and her group over there, man, they continue to produce great food. It's a great atmosphere. Man, if you're still celebrating a special night out, check out that private wine cellar. They got 5 different dining rooms, including that private wine cellar. But mainly it's just about great food. Also some great drinks as well. Whether you just want to sit at the bar, have a drink, and maybe a appetizer, or again, you're celebrating a special evening, or really anything in between, go check them out at Napa Cafe, 5101 Sanderlin. You can make reservations online at napacafe.com. You can also check out the menu online. They're open for dinner Wednesday through Saturday, starting at 5 o'clock. They also have their entire menu available for curbside pickup. If you want to take it home with you, you can do that as well. For a great night out, some great food, go check them out at Napa Cafe.
10 in a row is also brought to you by the Owner's Box. Look, I'm in Vegas, and there's great sports bars all over the place. I mean, what do you expect? Well, we have a great sports bar in Memphis, actually in Lakeland to be exact, and it is the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill. Everything you need is located in the Lakeland Town Square. It's fun, it's exciting, it's very friendly, and it's comfortable. Wall-to-wall TVs for all your favorite games to watch. All over-the-wall taps for all your favorite beers, including non-alcoholic and local craft beers. In front of the wall, they got the full bar for all your other favorite beverages, including a full wine list. You add in an upscale menu, patio seating, daily specials, and events. You found all your sports in the one right place. It's the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square. And if you're looking for a great place for lunch, where it's not only tasty food but economically sound, they got a lunch special every single day, Monday through Friday. So weekdays from 11 to 3, everything from wraps to soups to sliders to quesadillas to salads. It's the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square.
The winner of 10 in a row today will get a $25 gift certificate to the Owner's Box. Also, $25 gift certificate to Mugshots Bar and Grill. Golf for 4 at Miramichi. A free haircut from Supercuts, and a couple of free Malco movie passes. How about that?
All right, that's a great prize package. That's a great prize package. Really, really is. Here's the question. We are in the midst of camps opening up in the National Football League. I know a lot of them have had the rookies report. The veterans are going to be reporting here. Before too long, the NFL season will be upon us. The question is, NFL franchises who have played in 1,000 or more regular season games. NFL franchises, okay? So remember, some of these franchises have moved from city to city. NFL franchises who have played in 1,000 or more regular season games.
The Sissies Log Cabin listener line at 360-8255, 360-8255 to play 10 in a row. Again, a great prize package, $25 to the Owner's Box, $25 to Mugshots, golf for 4 at Miramichi, free haircut from Supercuts, and a couple of free Malco movie passes. Joe is leading it off, the GOAT. What's up, Joe?
Hey, guys.
Hey, Joe.
Can you hear me clearly? I'm
Yes.
in the car on Bluetooth, just dropped off my daughter at Vacation Bible School. Am I good?
We can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, and
Heck,
quick
they
question.
can hear me in
Greg.
Las Vegas. Yes.
Greg, but what about the whole Colts, the Ravens, the Browns, like you know how the Browns became the Ravens?
No, look, it's the Ravens are not the Colts. You know, the Colts moved to Indianapolis, so even with the move, the Raiders are the Raiders. Even though they were in Los Angeles, they were in Oakland, they're in Las Vegas now. They're the Raiders. It's the franchise. The Titans are the Oilers, right? So if I say that, okay,
right.
Here we go. NFL franchises who have played in 1,000 or more regular season games. The Falcons.
I'm going to say no.
The Bills.
No.
The Bengals.
I think that's 3 no's in a row.
The Browns.
I'm going to say yes on the Browns.
The Lions.
Absolutely. They've been around a while.
The Broncos.
Ugh, I'm going to say no on Denver.
The Chiefs.
That I feel like they're right at 1,000. I'm going to say no.
Giants.
Yes, they've been around forever.
Seahawks.
Seahawks, I feel like haven't been around that long. I'm going to say no.
Commanders, and remember, name change.
Right, so the old Redskins, they were one of the originals, so yeah.
Joe is too good, Eli. He's too good. He's a winner.
He's the GOAT. He is the GOAT. Absolute
He's the GOAT.
Joe, congratulations. Hold on. Zach will take care of you. You can't stump the guy.
Once a month when he is, right? When he's allowed to come back after 1 month, he's going to step up. He's going to be the first caller, and he's going to normally knock it out of the park.
All right, we've got 3 on the line. I'm in a good mood. I'll give, with the weather today, it's Friday, I'll give a second chance here. So Dan, Mario, and Mean Gene each get a shot here. I'll put together some sort of prize package if one of them wins. Dan gets the first crack. Dan, what's up?
Hi, Dan.
Hi, guys.
Again, it's NFL franchises who have played in 1,000 or more regular season games. The Titans.
No.
Eagles.
Yes.
Saints.
No.
Patriots.
No.
Rams.
No.
Next.
All right.
First missed answer.
Mario gets the next crack at it. Mario, what's up?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, Super Mario. How are you?
All right.
All right, here we go. Titans.
No.
Eagles.
The Eagles, yes.
Saints.
No.
Patriots.
No.
Rams.
Yes.
Colts.
Yes.
Packers.
Yes.
Cowboys.
No.
Bears.
Yes.
Panthers.
The Panthers? No.
Panthers. Second chance winner. Good job, Mario. You winner.
Mario, congratulations. I will put together some sort of prize package for you as well. Hold on. Mean Gene, sorry.
Let me give you some of the...
We don't get a third chance.
No third chance. Let me give you some of the numbers of these teams. The ones that were yeses. Browns 1107, the Lions 1332, the Giants 1404, the Commanders, of course the Redskins 1301, Eagles 1287, Rams 1234, Colts 1065, Packers 1435. I think the Packers are they're not number one. The Bears 1469 for the Bears. The Cowboys, by the way, which Mario navigated through it correctly. I thought he was going to miss that one. Cowboys are at 981. So they're getting close.
Folks, buying a diamond, if you're not properly educated, can be difficult. But if you go to Genesis Diamonds They'll give you the education that you need. They'll make you a smarter buyer when it comes to buying diamonds, when it comes to buying any type of jewelry. They'll help you and educate you of what makes difference in prices, what you should be looking for, what stands out, what the ladies out there are looking for. These are the things they'll help you become a better, smarter shopper when buying jewelry. They'll do that at Genesis Diamonds. They're people there are not working on commission, so they're not there to pressure you into buying something more expensive. They're there to help you, educate you, make you smarter when you're buying jewelry. An amazing selection. They've got line after line of jewelry that nobody else in town has. Unbelievable prices with direct importer pricing. It's all at Genesis Diamonds. Poplar and Perkins Extended, that's where you'll find them. Make yourself a smarter jewelry shopper at Genesis Diamonds. Back to wrap things up for the week right after this. Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows. Stay up to date with station events and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Listen up, I got Marty McNade on the line at Gossett Volkswagen, Germantown. Hey, McNade, how far back you moving on prices?
Way back, Randy. Doc told me you can take your pick. 2024 Teos SE or 2024 Jetta Sport. Gotta go back in time to the good old days at $275 a month.
Great Scott, McNade. Gossett Volkswagen on Germantown is really moving prices back.
That's right, Randy.
And I hear you got the 2024 Atlas Peak Editions going for $5,000 off MSRP, or you can get 1.9 for 60 months.
That's right, Randy. Your future's whatever you make of it, so let's get to Gossett Volkswagen, Germantown.
Ask for Marty to find out how much he can move you back on price. Hey, Marty, hit us with that Gossett Volkswagen locator.
7420 Winchester Road, or shop online at GossettVWG.com.
At Vanguard, you're more than just an investor, you're an owner. So whether you're planning for retirement or trying to save up for your next big adventure, Vanguard will help work alongside you to set personalized investment goals. That's the value of ownership. All investing is subject to risk. Vanguard is owned by its funds, which are owned by Vanguard's fund shareholder clients. Vanguard Marketing Corporation, distributor.
Hi, folks. Dr. Cover Sunrise Buick GMC Truck. It's our 35th anniversary of Sunrise, and we're celebrating with savings that are bigger than ever. Over 600 new cars and trucks to choose from with huge savings. It's a used car buyer's dream. Check it out at sunrisememphis.com. Hundreds of used cars and trucks with a lot specializing in cars and trucks under 20,000. Bad credit? It's okay. You're approved at Sunrise. Remember, we specialize in secondary financing. New cars and trucks aren't free, but at least they're affordable at the 35th anniversary sale going on now at all Sunrise locations. Coming from Pike Blue Chase and Collier.
Guns, and more guns. Over 700 firearms in stock. Home defense guns, old guns, new guns, used guns, big guns, little guns. Every gun you can think of, Classic Arms has them. All brands like Glock, Sig, Colt, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Browning, Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Winchester, and more. Guaranteed lowest prices in town. Only gun importer in the Mid-South. Free gun inspections and appraisals and free bore sighting for the upcoming deer season. Shop online at ClassicArmsofMemphis.com or visit Classic Arms at 1740 Germantown Parkway behind Quicky's Barbecue in Cordova.
Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 95 FM. This hour brought to you by James Floors and More. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, 9:49, the time here in the Family Leisure Studios. So, an update to a story I talked about yesterday. Apparently, Caitlin Clark and Sabrina Ionescu were asked to be in the three-point shootout, and both declined that. I was very...
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, there was a report from, I think it was the AP, that they had talked to somebody with the league, and the league said that, yes, both were approached about it and both declined to participate. I don't know why. Ionescu, I can maybe somewhat understand it, I guess, because she's getting ready to go to the Olympics. Like, Caitlin Clark is going to have a month off because the league's off for a month after the All-Star game tomorrow. But apparently they both did decline it. So that makes me feel a little bit better about the league because I was like, how in the world are these two not in the three-point shootout? But apparently they were asked to do it.
Well, I don't feel much better about the league because they still do stupid things. But yes, I feel maybe a tad relieved that it wasn't them purposely skipping those two in a three-point shooting contest. That would make no sense.
Because as I said yesterday, I would much rather watch a three-point shootout with only them two than a three-point shootout without them two.
Yeah, you're probably right.
They're literally the only two draws that I would want to watch in a three-point shootout. But nonetheless, yes, they apparently both declined that invitation. Shane Lowry still with the lead at Royal Troon. 2-shot lead. He shot 2 under today. He is at 7 under for the tournament. Daniel Brown, the first-round leader, 1 over today through 15. He is at 5 under, 2 shots back. Justin Rose is 3 shots back. He is 2 under on his round today through 10 holes. Billy Horschel with a 3 under 68 today. Dean Burmeister with a 2 under 69 today. Scotty Scheffler with a 1 under 70 today. They are all at 2 under par for the tournament. Patrick Cantlay and Jason Day both at 1 under par. Xander Schauffele is at 1 under par. He's through 5 holes of his second round so far. Going down the list, Colin Morikawa at 1 over. Brooks Koepka is at 1 over for the tournament. They have both completed their second rounds. Boy, where did Justin Thomas go now? Holy cow.
He withdrew. No, I'm kidding.
John Rahm is at 3 over par. Did I skip over Justin Thomas or I had to skip over Justin Thomas. He can't be this far down the list. No, he is. Oh my God, he is 8 over through 10 today.
Goodness.
Wow.
Holy cow. So 3 under yesterday, 8 over through 10 holes today. He might go from leading most of the day yesterday to missing the cut. Bryson DeChambeau. DeChambeau's at 5 over. He's at even par on his round so far today. Ricky Fowler, who needed a good tournament to make it to Memphis, he finished at 6 over par. He is outside the cut line right now. Tiger ended up, Rory, by the way, even par through 2 holes today, still at 7 over par for the tournament. Tiger ended up finishing at 6 over today. He's 14 over for the tournament. He will not be making the weekend.
He will not make the weekend. I know we're short on time, but this was interesting. Our friend Jarvis Guerrero, Jarvo, texted me when we were talking about the topic of the 100 greatest athletes of this century as compiled by ESPN. And he mentioned we were debating Serena. You were talking a lot about Serena. He said, Greg, Serena's an individual sport. She plays tennis. She does it by herself. Brady, a team sport. LeBron, team sport. Phelps will be at the top event. I guess he's fine at the top because he's an individual. Serena, the best in the world. Brady, the best among those who play football, which is basically just the United States. What do you think about that?
Well, yeah, as I said, I understand it's impossible to compare a team sport versus individual sports. Like I said that at the time, but again, if I'm just looking at accomplishments, I think what Tom Brady accomplished or what LeBron has accomplished, it was more impressive than what Serena's accomplished. Not saying that she hasn't accomplished great things, and it's very impressive, but I think winning 7 Super Bowls and 5 MVPs in the NFL is harder than. Or is more impressive than just being the dominant woman on the in tennis.
Well, yes, that counter is a good argument because Brady has to beat with his teammates, of course, and they changed over the years 31 other teams. So you're not playing 31 teams in the playoffs. I understand that, but you have to be the best of the 32 teams each and every year that you won the Super Bowl, which is 7 times. So that's incredibly impressive. Individually, I understand. You got to do it yourself. But when you're that much better than most of the field, you're going to dominate like that. So there's a counter for both, but it's certainly a good debate topic, and that's why ESPN came up with that.
Tiger Tiger won 2 of his majors before 2000, and I think he had like 7 or 8 of his total wins before 2000. If Tiger's entire career was post 2000, I would put Tiger ahead of Serena as well.
I would definitely. And again, that's the individual sport versus the individual sport. And Tiger, I think, had more obstacles within the field that he played in the sport of golf as opposed to Serena in women's tennis. She was just absolute dominant. And the second best was her sister. So it was a little bit. I don't want to take anything away from her. She deserves, in my opinion, to be in the top 10. But I can understand where you're coming from and what Jarvis had to say. Want to remind everybody that Jenkins Floors and More is the third-hour sponsor of Sports 56 Mornings. They are now open at 2356 Goodman Road in Horn Lake. They also have stores in Little Rock and in Cleveland, Mississippi. They specialize in flooring and carpeting, tile, plantation shutters, and blinds. Jenkins makes your life easy with a 2-week turnaround. So contractors, builders, family projects, call 662-469-9350. Get a free estimate. Don't come to you. Owners Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins say hello to Sports 56 fans and look forward to your business.
Did you find out if your flight's okay?
Greg, what's our flight status?
Says on time, but we'll see.
He says it's on time, but he says the lines are huge there. Hopefully, I get back to Memphis. Hey,
well, the good thing
I
is this: if you get delayed at if you get delayed at the Vegas airport, you get to play slot machines.
Yes, I get to lose the rest of the money that I have in my pocket. Yeah, I could do that. I know we're out of time, but so yesterday at Cascada, this golf course here that we played, they had on the course. You know, sometimes you see deer in the south. Sometimes you'll see alligators. They had rams, and they were butting their horns like they were going at it. Rams. Could you imagine going up to the hole? We did, and there's rams all over the place. That was wild.
Matt Stafford wasn't one of them?
No, I think Aaron Donald was. There was one that was huge. I know he retired, but I think he retired and became an actual ram on a golf course.
Well, good luck getting back. And again, if the flight's delayed, that's just a last opportunity to win some money before leaving Vegas. Hit that jackpot at the airport. That's the way to do it.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Zach. I know Phil Steele's going to be with us on Monday, so I guess that's the unofficial official kickoff of college football. Have a great weekend, everybody.
That is Greg Gaston from Las Vegas, here from the Family Leisure Studios. Yes, we will talk to you again on Monday morning right here in the Family Leisure Studios. Up next, it is Wolo and Friends with Zach and Bryant taking you through the next hour. Enjoy the beautiful weather. Enjoy the weekend. We'll talk to you again on Monday. So long, everybody.